Chapter 159 Ancestral Blessing. Purchasing the ancestor statue, Zhou Zhou had never thought of killing lords of the same race. Take the Thorn Lord for example. He was living well in Sand Gold City. Zhou Zhou did not even separate him from his subjects. He had peace and prosperity after all, so he was never worried that his subjects would rebel and was especially tolerant of them. He might even take the initiative to make them constantly become stronger. He didn't expect someone to have a death wish. After thinking for a moment, he decided to ignore these clowns for the time being. This group of people might be annoying, but the activity in the myriad races Lord battlefield was still the most important. He knew very well what to prioritize. My main goal now is to conquer more Lord factions and obtain more rankings and territory tokens. Also, I can't allow these people to continue slandering me. Zhou Zhou thought for a moment. Then, he found Bai Yun, Wuxia, and the others and asked them to gather 12,000 military professionals together. Wuxia. I have a heavy responsibility for you. He said solemnly to Wuxia. My lord, please instruct me. Wuxia immediately said respectfully. I want you to bring these 12,000 military professionals to the east of Thorn Dune and conquer the two green bronze tier territories, the Blackrock Desert and the Silent Wasteland. This time, Bai Yun, Nazario, and I won't go with you. This task is for you and the soldiers to undertake, be it to eliminate the fog monsters or the Scarlet Lord. Are you confident enough? Zhou Zhou said solemnly. The Blackrock Desert and Silent Wasteland were the two green bronze tier regional territories that Wu Tu had explored when making the map. Normally speaking, white-silver tier fog monsters and Scarlet Lords would appear in the green bronze tier regional territory, at most. Wuxia was not only a yellow gold tier advanced grade, he was also an extraordinary tier hero. It was naturally easy to deal with monsters of this level. This was also why Zhou Zhou dared to entrust this important task to him. My lord, don't worry. I will definitely return with victory. Wuxia agreed without hesitation. Remember to bring Elder Bai and the other doctors along. Zhou Zhou said. The doctors in his territory had the ancestral enhancement, essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies. There would be casualties once the war began. These doctors would display their skills at such times. Yes. Wuxia said respectfully. Wait for a while before setting off. I will wish for a blessing from the ancestors for you. Zhou Zhou said. Yes, my lord. Wuxia said respectfully. Zhou Zhou nodded and walked towards the Imperial Ancestral Temple. In the main hall of the Imperial Ancestral Temple, Zhou Zhou stood in front of the statue of ancestor Sun Simiao and looked at the altar in front of him. A text notification appeared. Ancestral altar, offer 10 sacrifices of value below the white-silver tier mist core to the ancestor before a war and you will obtain the ancestral blessing, a random temporary war enhancement effect. Prompt 1, the higher the level of the Cerulean planet's ancestor statue, the higher the value of the offering required and the stronger the ancestral blessing effect obtained. Prompt 2, the Lord can only have one type of ancestral blessing at any one time. 10 white-silver tier mist cores in exchange for a temporary ancestral blessing. It's not expensive. Zhou Zhou searched through his spatial ring for a long time. He did not know which loots were worth exactly 10 white-silver tier mist cores. In the end, he simply placed 10 white-silver tier mist cores on the altar. I wonder if ancestor Sun Simiao will find my offering too vulgar. Zhou Zhou was a little nervous. Soon, the altar lit up slightly. Then, the 10 white-silver tier mist cores on it disappeared. Zhou Zhou heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that ancestor Sun Simiao was not picky about offerings. At this moment, a text notification appeared. You have obtained an ancestral blessing, physical injury restoration, white-silver tier war gain. Physical injury restoration, White Silver Tier War Enhancement increases the recovery speed of physical injuries by 5% sustained by the Lord subjects. Duration, 24 hours. Zhou Zhou nodded. 5% did not sound high, but Zhou Zhou instantly felt comfortable when he thought about how it would cover all his subjects. He now had more than 20,000 subjects under his command. A blessing that covered so many people was already quite shocking. I need more ancestor statues of the cerulean planet. Zhou Zhou thought. He opened the marketplace, and began to set up a transaction. A moment later. The setup was completed. The transaction was as follows: trade name, deal with the Blazing Sun Lord, trade goods, 100 yellow gold tier mist cores. Trade requirement, I only want the ancestor statue of the human race from cerulean planet. I prioritize the statue of ancestor Sun Simiao. Remarks, you can private message me if you're not satisfied with the price. The setup was completed and he published the transaction. Soon, the ranking of this transaction began to rise rapidly. After a while, it became the post with the most views. The lords on the World Channel were also discussing this deal. However, most of them said they had no ancestor statue of the human race on the cerulean planet. Zhou Zhou did not receive any private messages from anyone. Instead, many onlookers asked him what the effect of the ancestor statue was. Zhou Zhou did not reply and closed the marketplace channel. It seemed that he could only take his time to buy the ancestor statues. Then, he bowed 3 times to ancestor Sun Simiao and left the imperial ancestral temple. At the same time, Wuxia and the others could already feel the difference in their bodies outside. Is this the ancestral blessing requested by the Lord? Wuxia said in surprise. At this moment, he even felt that the old injuries on his body were recovering slightly. The restoration was very slow, almost like a drop in the bucket, but he was indeed recovering. It was the same for the soldiers. They had followed Zhou Zhou through many battles and had long accumulated many injuries. These injuries could not be completely healed in a short period of time. They could only slowly recuperate and recover. And now, they also felt restoration accelerating for these injuries. At this moment, Zhou Zhou also walked out of the imperial ancestral temple. My lord. We can already feel the effect of the ancestral blessing. Wuxia sighed. Elder Wu, are your injuries recovering too? Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. The injuries on Wu Xin's body were caused by a scarlet hero. Is this also within the range of the restoration? Wuxia nodded. Seeing this, Zhou Zhou valued the ancestral blessing even more. However, he suddenly felt helpless. The effects of the ancestral blessing appeared at random. It was physical injury restoration this time, but it might not be the same next time. We can't rely on the ancestral blessing to treat Elder Wu's injuries. I can let Elder Bai take a look when we come back. Zhou Zhou thought. Bai Yuejing was now in charge of the essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies. There was a chance of getting a hint from ancestor Sun Simiao when treating difficult illnesses. Perhaps he could treat Elder Wu's injuries. Then, he stopped thinking about it. After Wuxia led the troops out, he and Bai Yi sat on Nazario's dragon back and flew toward Sand Gold City. He wanted to let the Storm Lord and the others from the Sun Extermination Association know what it meant to reap what they sowed. Chapter 160 The Sun Extermination Association is dead. Head to the Sunshine City. A moment later, Zhou Zhou and Bai Yi rode on Nazario to Sand Gold City. When Qian Jiangsheng and Zhang Kaishan found out that Zhou Zhou had arrived, they immediately came to greet him. Greetings, my lord. Greetings, Legion Commander Bai. The 3 of them said respectfully. Where's Zhang Yud? Zhou Zhou nodded and went straight to the point. Zhang Yud? Qian Jiangsheng thought for a while and quickly remembered. My lord, Zhang Yud originally wanted to be an ordinary subject after coming to Sand Gold City. However, he understood our military merit exchange system and directly joined our army. He should be in the barracks now. Qian Jiangxing said respectfully. Take us to him. Zhou Zhou said. Yes, my lord. Legion Commander Bai, please follow me. Qian Jiangxing walked in front of the two of them and led the way. Zhou Zhou followed with Bai Yun, seeing that. A moment later. At the barracks in Sand Gold City. Zhou Zhou and Bai Yi quickly found Zhang Yud under Qian Jiangxing's lead. He was training with the other soldiers in the arena at the moment. Qian Jiangxing immediately called him over. Greetings, my lord. Zhang Yud was a little confused at first, but he immediately said respectfully when he saw Zhou Zhou. How are you doing in Sand Gold City? Zhou Zhou looked at him and said. Very good. I feel much safer than when I was a lord. Zhang Yud could not help but grin. He could not help but sigh when he recalled being a lord. At the same time, he regretted being obsessed with being a lord. Wasn't it good to be a soldier in Sand Gold City now? Not only could he enjoy the protection of the Lord of the Blazing Sun, he also did not have to worry about matters of the Lord all day long. Moreover, he did not have to worry about the Supreme Will constantly targeting him, nor did he have to worry about any people of foreign races attacking his territory. This life was simply like a safe immortal compared to his previous days as a lord. He was living quite comfortably now, especially with the military merit exchange system for the soldiers. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he told Zhang Yud what had happened on the World Channel. Zhang Yud was stunned for a moment before he immediately said angrily, I'm not dead yet. These people actually cursed me to death. Please tell me what you need me to do, my lord. I'll definitely cooperate with you. He was now a subject under the Lord of the Blazing Sun. He naturally knew which position he should take now. It's nothing serious. Just post a proof of life video of yourself. Zhou Zhou said. That's easy. Zhang Yud immediately agreed. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he turned on the recording function of the World Channel. A moment later, a transaction with the Lord of the Blazing Sun appeared in the marketplace again. This transaction was special because it was free. Others could choose to buy it and obtain the goods inside without paying any price. This product was a video. It was Zhang Yud's proof of life video. After this transaction appeared, it quickly surpassed the previous transaction because it involved the recent commotion of the Lord of the Blazing Sun killing a lord of the same race. It was pushed to the #1 spot in the transaction viewership. After these transactions were widely circulated by the lords on the World Channel, there was immediately a huge commotion among the lords. Yulin City. Zhang Yulin had just finished his ranking match today and was resting when he saw Zhou Zhou's deal. A video? And it's for free. The Lord of the Blazing Sun actually gives out free deals. He was subconsciously surprised. Then, Zhang Yulin bought it curiously. After he opened the video. It was pointed at a normal-looking middle-aged man who was a little short, cursing and swearing. Chen Haobin, you motherfucker. The Lord of the Blazing Sun clearly didn't harm me and even made me a subject in his territory, but you're cursing me to my death. Lords, don't be deceived by the Storm Lord and the others. I'm still fine. I'm doing very well. And those lords who want to become enemies with the Lord of the Blazing Sun because of their territory problems. I know you value your status as lords very much. I was the same back then, but I realized that there are too many powerful lords in this world. To be fair, can you really match up to top lords like the Lord of the Blazing Sun, the Insect Lord, and the Dragon Lady Lord? There are many paths in the world. There's no need for us to fight to the death on one path, let alone a path that can cost us our lives at any time. Let's give up your dangerous lord status and become adventurers or other professions. We will definitely be able to go far. Finally, welcome everyone to the Sand Gold City. The benefits here are very good. If you don't believe me, you can come and inspect it before making a decision. You won't be disappointed. It is really not a lie even though it sounds like fake publicity. If you still insist on becoming enemies with the Lord of the Blazing Sun, then we'll be mortal enemies when we meet the next time. The video stopped abruptly. The video was short, but Zhang Yulin already understood the general situation. So this group of people from the Sun Extermination Association wanted to deliberately slander the Lord of the Blazing Sun, so they spread the news that the Thorn Lord was killed by the Lord of the Blazing Sun. So exciting. Zhang Yulin was a little excited. Battles between the human lords of the cerulean planet happened from time to time after they relocated to the High Continent, but these lords who were fighting among themselves were all unknown lords. The other lords would not pay attention to these small matters, even if they really happened. This was because everyone had long known that internal strife was inevitable. Lords of the same race were often the easiest to deal with compared to the unknown foreign races after all. Therefore, while such matters were often discussed on the World Channel, none of them would do anything about it. No one really took it seriously. However, it was different for the Lord of the Blazing Sun, the Dragon Lady Lord, and the Overlord Lord. In the eyes of lords like Zhang Yulin, they were equivalent to public figures or even celebrities on the cerulean planet. Commoners would always demand and criticize public figures with higher moral standards. That was why the matter of the Lord of the Blazing Sun killing a lord of the same race caused an uproar. Speaking of which, Zhang Yulin realized that this was a big deal and immediately opened the World Channel to share this matter. Then, he saw that many lords on the World Channel were also talking about this. I'm disgusted because I really thought that the Lord of the Blazing Sun had killed a lord of the same race. I even added the Storm Lord as a friend and comforted him. Me too. I even scolded the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Fuck, will I be blacklisted by the Lord of the Blazing Sun? I don't think so. The Lord of the Blazing Sun isn't a robot. How can he watch the World Channel all the time to blacklist people? A person who uses our sympathy is so disgusting. Lord of the Blazing Sun, I'm sorry. I take back the bad things I said to you previously. Sorry +1. I don't believe that this person is the Thorn Lord. He has no evidence. Don't believe him. Perhaps this person is an actor hired by the Lord of the Blazing Sun. It's the Thorn Lord. I've made a transaction video with him before. He looks like this. Indeed. I've already seen several good friends of the Thorn Lord, proving that he is indeed the Thorn Lord himself. This is really ridiculous. In the Sun Extermination Association group chat. The lords in the group chat were already panicking. I'm done for. More than 700,000 lords suddenly added me as a friend. They were all scolding me when I saw their notifications. Me too. I've also been scolded by many people. Storm Lord, don't panic. What they say doesn't affect us at all. It's just a verbal attack. The threat of the Lord of the Blazing Sun is real. Don't forget our original intention of gathering together. I won't be a lord at most. Isn't the Thorn Lord living well? That's right. The Lord of the Blazing Sun doesn't seem to be as scary as I thought. I'll give up my status as a lord and become an adventurer or seek refuge with the Lord of the Blazing Sun if it comes to it. The Thick Earth Lord has left the group chat. Little Day's group master has left the group chat. In the territory of the Storm Lord. The Storm Lord saw these two notifications to leave the group just as he was fuming about two traitors who had appeared among his allies. He was stunned, then his heart ached immediately. He did not have many lords in the Sun Extermination Association to begin with, only 8 lords remaining after these two left. However, it was not over yet. Another 5 lords left the Sun Extermination Association after a while. In the blink of an eye, there were only 3 lords, including himself, left in his Sun Extermination Association. As for these 3 lords, they were the 3 lords who had founded the Blazing Sun Society together. Seeing this scene, and the hundreds of thousands of friendly words from his friend request list, the three of them could not help but feel that the Sun Extermination Association was finished. At the same time, in Sand Gold City. "My lord, how was my video?" Zhang Yud asked smilingly. "Everything is fine other than it being too vulgar." Zhou Zhou chuckled. He felt very comfortable now. The Sun Extermination Association could not no longer cause much trouble even if they did not perish this time. While he did not care about these enemies to begin with, it was also very satisfying if he could stop these guys from jumping around and talking nonsense. "I did some self-media when I was on the Cerulean planet," Zhang Yud said embarrassedly. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he asked Qian Jiangxing to reward the other party with some military merits. He left with Bai Yun in surprise. On the way. "How's the clearing of the monsters near the Sand Gold Land recently?" Zhou Zhou asked casually. "My lord, don't worry. We've already cleared all the fog monsters near Sand Gold City. Currently, many merchants and even caravans from Blazing Sun City and Fish Spring Town have already begun to come to our Sand Gold City to trade through the trade route. Things are looking up," Qian Jiangxing said. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he chatted with him for a while more before riding on Nazario again and flying in the direction of the Yellow Gold Tier Regional Territory, Sunshine City. He wanted to buy a batch of Yellow Gold Tier Aurora crystals and change all the Aurora Kingdom towers in Blazing Sun City to Yellow Gold Tier Aurora Kingdom towers. At that time, he would not be too worried even if he encountered stronger opponents in the Myriad Races Lord battlefield. Chapter 161 Yellow Gold Tier Aurora Crystal and White Platinum Tier Aurora Crystal. Half an hour later, Zhou Zhou and the others arrived at the outskirts of Sunshine City. He let Nazario fly in the sky so that it would not expose itself while he paid attention to Bai Yun and his surroundings. Then, the two of them arrived at the entrance of Sunshine City. He saw the city gate. People came and went, bustling with activity. "What a lively scene. There are so many people," Bai Yun exclaimed. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. As expected of a Yellow Gold Tier regional territory of the Aurora Kingdom, it was indeed much livelier than his Blazing Sun City. However, his expression was very calm because he believed that his Sand Gold City would definitely be even livelier than this place in the near future. The two of them were scanned with the Scarlet Fog detector at the city gate. They successfully entered Sunshine City after confirming that the two of them were not fog monsters in disguise. After entering the city, the two of them could not help but be attracted by the bustling scene in the city. However, they did not forget their business and only took a few glances before heading straight for the administrative hall. A moment later, in one of the reception rooms of the administrative hall, Zhou Zhou and Bai Yun sat together. On the other side was the city lord of the Sunshine City, Wu Balian, who had just arrived. He was wearing general armor and had a stocky build. He had a beard and a scar that covered half of his face. This did not make him ugly. Instead, it gave him the might of a fierce general. However, Zhou Zhou and Bai Yun were not ordinary people, so they naturally ignored this might. "So you're the Lord of the Blazing Sun. I've heard a lot about you. May I know why the two of you are suddenly visiting?" Wu Balian smiled. "City Lord Wu, you're too kind. We're here for no other reason than to buy some Yellow Gold Tier Aurora crystals from you." After Zhou Zhou finished speaking, he took out the Aurora crystal trading contract that Li Ye had given him. Wu Balian began to frown after hearing Zhou Zhou's words. He had a bad feeling when he took out the Aurora crystal trading contract. Wu Balian read the contract and immediately fell silent. Zhou Zhou and Bai Yi could tell that something was wrong with his expression, but neither of them said anything. A moment later, Wu Balian was the first to shake his head. "Lord of the Blazing Sun. Logically speaking, I should sell you aurora crystals with this aurora crystal trading contract. But recently, the 4th Legion of the Taiyan Kingdom is attacking my Sunshine City and the surrounding 16 regional territories of the Aurora Kingdom. As a result, most of the aurora crystals in our hands have been provided to the front line. Therefore, our supply of aurora crystals is also very tight. So please forgive me for not being able to sell you the aurora crystals in our hands. Wu Beilian said. Even though Zhou Zhou had a premonition, he still felt a little helpless when he heard him say this. It's okay. City Lord Wu has his own difficulties. Then may I ask where the closest yellow gold tier regional territory is? I can exchange it there. Zhou Zhou quickly adjusted his mentality and asked. I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you, Lord of the Blazing Sun. The nearby yellow gold tier and above regional territories are now fighting the Scarlet Legion of the Taiyan Kingdom. They might be in a worse situation than me. They probably won't trade the aurora crystals with you, my lord. However, more than 3,000 kilometers south is a diamond tier territory of our Aurora Kingdom, Golden Age City. That place is inland of the Aurora Kingdom and is temporarily unaffected by the war. You should be able to buy high-level aurora crystals there if you urgently need them. Wu Beilian said. Zhou Zhou frowned slightly. How long would this round trip take? He could use the return to the city talent to save time if he was alone. However, he still had Nazario and Bai Yi with him. Return to the city could not bring them back. Actually, I have another idea, but whether you can get what you want will depend on you, Lord of the Blazing Sun. Wu Beilian pondered for a few seconds before saying, as if seeing the dilemma on Zhou Zhou's face. What is that? Zhou Zhou immediately asked. The aurora crystal comes from the aurora race's body and is the source of their life. At the same time, it can also be used to drive the energy of certain special weapons, such as the Aurora Tower. Our country allows our subjects to offer their corpses to the kingdom after they die because it's a strategic resource that concerns the safety of the kingdom. The country will also give such subjects' families a large compensation. In addition, we will confer glory onto these honorable subjects. Right now, there is a batch of yellow gold tier and white platinum tier honorable subject corpses in the Sunshine City vault. If the Lord of the Blazing Sun believes in your luck, you can try to extract the loot from these corpses and see if you can extract the aurora crystals you want. But it's more expensive. Every yellow gold tier honorable subject corpse costs 1 white platinum tier mist core, and every white platinum tier honorable subject corpse can only be bought at the price of 1 diamond tier mist core. This is the price whether or not you are able to extract the aurora crystal or not. I wonder if the Lord of the Blazing Sun is willing to accept it. Wu Beilian asked. He had originally thought that the Lord of the Blazing Sun wouldn't accept such harsh conditions. But he did not expect that his eyes lit up and agreed immediately. Okay. Wu Beilian. But I can only buy aurora crystals of yellow gold tier and below, right? Zhou Zhou asked doubtfully. Yes, however, it's fine as long as it is not a ready-made aurora crystal and only the corpses of white platinum tier honorable subjects. Wu Beilian said. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. A moment later. In the Sunshine City vault. The corpses of 312 yellow gold tier and 112 white platinum tier honorable subjects are here. They were all soldiers of our Aurora Kingdom when they were alive. They chose to offer themselves up after they died. Lord of the Blazing Sun, you can take a look. You can retrieve the corpses' loots, but please don't do anything that would defile the corpses. Wu Beilian pointed at the corpses of these honorable subjects. Of course. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he looked at the corpses and quickly saw that these corpses were different from the other corpses. The corpses of these honorable subjects had actually turned pale white and transparent. Moreover, their corpses seemed to have shrunk and looked very small. In addition, there was a faint white light on their foreheads. Zhou Zhou immediately thought of Princess Liya of the Aurora Kingdom. There was something similar between her eyebrows, however, hers was a white prismatic crystal. These corpses had white light spots. Zhou did not think too much about the difference. He looked at the corpses of one of the honorable subjects. Item name, Feng Yes corpse, item level, yellow gold tier, item effect, contains unextracted loots. Item description, the corpse of an honorable subject made by the Aurora Kingdom with a special potion. It can preserve the Aurora crystal energy in the corpse to the greatest extent. Moreover, the corpse can be preserved for a year. Prompt, this corpse will turn into fog and be reborn at a certain time in the future in 2 hours. Loots, yellow gold tier Aurora crystal, drop rate, 5%, there's only one type of loot. Zhou raised his eyebrows. Is this the price of preserving the energy of the Aurora crystal for a long time? He speculated but did not ponder too long about it. Why are these corpses left here? Shouldn't you try extracting the Aurora crystals early? Zhou asked curiously, not in a hurry to extract them immediately. According to the kingdom's rules, under normal circumstances, these corpses can only be extracted when the lucky person arrives. Wu Beilian said. Zhou's expression was strange. This was not the first time he had heard of the profession lucky person. It was the same when he bought the Conqueror's blast furnace last time. It seemed that the people of the high continent believed in metaphysics in this aspect. After that, Zhou planned to extract the Aurora crystals from the corpse. He said that using the metaphysical method to extract the loots makes it inconvenient for others to see. Wu Beilian believed this reason easily. He left the Sunshine City vault after reminding him again not to do anything rude to the corpse. Zhou did not waste any time. He directly began to retrieve the loots. A moment later, Zhou walked out of the Sunshine City vault. "I'm done," he said. Wu Beilian nodded and was about to walk into the Sunshine City vault to check how many corpses had been extracted. He froze as soon as he entered. All the corpses of the honorable subjects in the Sunshine City vault disappeared. "You've extracted them all." Wu Beilian turned to look at Zhou in a daze. Zhou acknowledged. He looked at the spatial ring. There were 312 yellow gold tier Aurora crystals and 112 white platinum tier Aurora crystals in his spatial ring. I can build a white platinum tier Aurora tower when I return, he thought in satisfaction. Chapter 162 Increase in Ranking. Zhou's request. "You're so rich." Wu Beilian could not help but sigh. The corpses of so many honorable subjects were worth a lot. Zhou smiled and said nothing. Wu Beilian would not have said that if he knew his gains. But then again, the corpses of these honorable subjects were indeed expensive. A white platinum tier honorable subject's corpse actually cost a diamond tier mist core, while a yellow gold tier honorable subject's corpse also cost a white platinum tier mist core. It was an entire level higher than their value on the surface. He would have felt that he was being scammed if not for the fact that Zhou knew the importance of Aurora crystals to the Aurora Kingdom. Zhou paid Wu Beilian the mist cores as agreed. A total of 1,432,000 black iron tier mist cores were spent on 312 yellow gold tier and 112 white platinum tier corpses. This was naturally nothing to the current Zhou. The mist cores he earned every day far exceeded this number. They did not stay any longer. After saying a simple word to Wu Beilian, they bade farewell and left. A moment later, in the sky, Zhou and Bai Yi stood on Nazario's back. Nazario, which was already 25 meters tall, could carry 30 to 40 people on its back. Therefore, the two of them looked exceptionally spacious and stable standing there. Moreover, Nazario had used the draconic magic to offset the strong wind blowing at them intentionally, so the two of them felt as if they were standing on flat ground. Zhou stood at the front in silence. When Bai Yi saw this, she could not help but ask curiously, "My lord, are you worried about something? If that's the case, why don't you tell me? I can share my lord's burden." "Nothing, I just thought of something." Zhou Zhou came back to his senses and said. "Are you thinking about what city Lord Wu said about the Taiyan kingdom attacking Sunshine City and the surrounding territories?" Bai Yi asked. Zhou Zhou was stunned for a moment before nodding. "The Aurora Kingdom borders our territory. If the Aurora Kingdom is breached by the scarlet monsters of the Taiyan Kingdom, when the nest is overturned, no egg stays unbroken. We will definitely be the next target of the Taiyan Kingdom. At the moment, it's very difficult for our territory to withstand the attack of a kingdom-level faction. Moreover, this is a strong Crimson Kingdom," he said. Zhou Zhou naturally did not forget that there was a yellow gold tier regional territory of the Taiyan Kingdom, Dark Night Town, in the south of the white silver tier green forest. As for the reason why the other party did not attack from the direction of the Dark Night Town, from the looks of it, was probably because of the natural barrier of the Sandstorm Forbidden Zone. Other than that, Zhou Zhou also thought of Liya, who was still in his territory. This princess of the Aurora Kingdom had been very polite to him ever since she came to his territory. Previously, he thought that this was because the other party had a good upbringing. Perhaps that was not all from the looks of it. She should be looking for help for her kingdom, and he must be a suitable target for her. I do have the potential to become their helper. But potential is still potential, we are not at the level to help them currently. However, I shouldn't have to worry about the Aurora Kingdom not being able to withstand the attacks for the time being. I'm mainly facing the current battlefield of the lords of all races. But I have to think about this early. Zhou Zhou pondered. At this moment, a text notification appeared. Your subjects have conquered a Black Iron Tier Scarlet Lord's territory and obtained 1 ranking. Zhou Zhou was stunned. Then, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. It seemed that Elder Wu's operation was going quite smoothly. Half an hour later, they returned to Blazing Sun City. My lord, I want to return to the army and speed up the conquest of those 2 green bronze tier territories. Bai Yi had just jumped off Nazario's back when she immediately said respectfully to Zhou Zhou. Zhou Zhou looked at her. He guessed that she must have been affected by his words just now. That was why she was so anxious to make this request. Don't be anxious. There's a saying in our hometown, haste makes waste. We're already developing very quickly. The Aurora Kingdom won't collapse in a short period of time. He comforted her. Yes. But I still want to go. Bai Yi insisted. Then go, let Nazario take you. Your speed should be faster with Nazario around. Zhou Zhou said. Bai Yi nodded. Soon, she sat on Nazario's back again and flew away with it. Zhou Zhou went to look for Zhao Changshu and handed him a 100 cubic meter spatial ring. Elder Zhao. There are 1 million Black Iron Tier Mist Cores, 312 Yellow Gold Tier Aurora Crystals, and 112 White Platinum Tier Aurora Crystals. Elder Zhao, please use them to build the Aurora Towers in Blazing Sun City and Sand Gold City during this period of time. Especially for Blazing Sun City. It's best to build a White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade Aurora Tower. Zhou Zhou said. A White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade Aurora Tower. As long as it could be built. When the time comes. He would have the confidence to get even an extraordinary tier elementary grade invader to retreat if they dared to invade his Blazing Sun City. Yes, my lord. However, I will need to mobilize a portion of the blacksmiths, carpenters, and other lifestyle professionals in the territory to join in if you want to build a White Platinum Tier Aurora Tower. Only then can I complete the construction. I hope my lord can agree. Zhao Changshu asked respectfully. As a high-level architect, he could command ordinary people to build buildings of lower levels with his own ability. However, the higher the level of the building, the more it needed the participation of many living talents. For example, blacksmiths, carpenters, engravers, painters, and other lifestyle professionals. They were all indispensable talents in the construction of high-level buildings. That was why he made this request. Zhou Zhou naturally agreed readily. After that, he stopped chatting and went to look for Liya. "My lord is back so soon?" Liya said in surprise. "I just got back." Zhou Zhou acknowledged. "I just went to Sunshine City and realized that the situation there and the area around it doesn't seem to be very good. They seem to have been attacked by the army of the Tang Kingdom." He hesitated and said. Liya nodded. "The Tang Kingdom and my Aurora Kingdom have a long-standing grudge. I knew about this before I came. My lord, if you're interested in the war at the kingdom level, you can come with me to take a look when I return. I can guarantee that this trip will not be made in vain." "Sure." Zhou Zhou thought for a moment and nodded. He was so close to the territory of the Tang Kingdom. The Tang Kingdom would also become his enemy in the future. Since that was the case, it was good to understand it in advance. A smile immediately appeared on Li Ya's face seeing Zhou Zhou agree to her suggestion. "By the way, Your Highness, I wonder if what you said last time about agreeing to one of my requests still stands?" Zhou Zhou said. "Of course. Father's promise will always be carried out." "My lord, have you thought of what you want?" Liya asked. "I need an alchemy technician above the yellow gold tier advanced grade." Zhou Zhou nodded and said. There was still no alchemy technician who could learn the blueprint of the mist energy cannon until now. That was why he made this request. He would have an offensive weapon in the future myriad races Lord battlefield as long as he could build the mist energy cannon. Chapter 163 Increase rank 23 times. Zhou Zhou's anticipation alchemy technician. "I'll remember it. I'll go back and tell my father tomorrow." Liya nodded. This request was naturally simple to the kingdom. Zhou Zhou acknowledged, then, the two of them chatted for a while before he returned to the lord's residence. Liya stood for a long time as she watched Zhou Zhou leave. "Why is your highness so polite to this lord? He may be very impressive now, but he's only a small lord. Aren't there many people like him in our Aurora Kingdom?" Yu Qiao, the maid, walked over and asked curiously. "There are some things you don't understand. Even though he's still very weak, a lord of all races summoned by the supreme will is their greatest advantage. We lords of the High Continent have fought for tens of thousands of years in the High Continent, but not a single lord of all races has been born. The supreme will seems to be disappointed in us now, so it has already vaguely shifted its focus from us to these lords. Under the care of the supreme will, they will grow very quickly. It's possible for them to grow to any extent in the future. We're helping him now, but it might not be too long before this Lord of the Blazing Sun helps us instead." Liya explained. Yu Qiao's mouth widened in surprise. In the Lord's residence. After Zhou Zhou returned, he entered the bathroom and practiced the dark water mystic technique in the bathtub that was filled with water. During this period, every once in a while, a notification would appear that the rankings in the Lord battlefield had increased. Your subjects have conquered a Black Iron Tier Scarlet Lord's territory and obtained 1 ranking. Your subject has conquered a Green Bronze Tier Scarlet Lord's territory and obtained 2 rankings. Your subjects have conquered a Black Iron Tier Scarlet Lord's territory and obtained 1 ranking. In less than 3 hours, Zhou Zhou heard for notifications that the number of rankings had increased. Among them, there were 2 Black Iron Tier and 2 Green Bronze Tier Scarlet Lord territories. His ranking had increased 7 times including the time he heard it on the way back. Zhou Zhou felt very comfortable listening to it. He wanted to immediately continue his competition if not for the fact that his main force was still fighting outside and had not returned. At this moment, a new text notification appeared. Your subject has conquered a Green Bronze Tier regional territory, Blackrock Desert, and obtained 4 rankings. Zhou Zhou sat up in the tub. The Blackrock Desert has been breached? Not bad. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. It seemed that there was indeed hope of breaking through 2 green bronze tier regional territories today. He stopped practicing the dark water mystic technique and he walked out of the bathtub instead. After wiping his body, he put on his clothes and walked out of the residence to a green bronze tier advanced grade dojo in the territory. The dojo master, Li Si, was the green bronze tier advanced grade martial master that Zhou Zhou had encountered when he first went to Sand Gold City. Greetings, my lord. When Li Si heard that Zhou Zhou was here, he immediately put down his work and came over to say respectfully. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. How have you been? He asked casually. Reporting to my lord, everything has been going well recently. The dojo has also developed very smoothly. It is almost full now. Li Si smiled. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. My lord, X2 at this moment, 2 familiar and surprised voices sounded. Zhou Zhou looked over. He happened to see the cat sisters, Aliyah and Atli. Greetings, my lord. Aliyah and Atli bowed to him with flushed faces after running over. Long time no see. Have you been cultivating martial arts here recently? Zhou Zhou asked. We immediately came here to be apprentices of the dojo after my lord gave us the instructions. The older sister, Aliyah, nodded. Not only that, but we will also often go out to hunt fog monsters. The younger Atli said. Zhou Zhou looked at their attribute information. He was surprised to discover that they had actually already become white silver tier elementary grade martial artists. This strength was definitely impossible if one did not work hard and hunt many monsters while cultivating martial arts. My lord, is there any work we can do in the territory? Aliyah asked expectantly. Why don't you return to the Blazing Sun Army? Zhou Zhou said. We can, but we're martial artists now. Our fighting style is different from the military professionals. I'm afraid the effect won't be very good if we join. Aliyah said awkwardly. Then make arrangements with Bai Yun when she comes back. Zhou Zhou happily threw this matter to Bai Yun. Yes, my lord. The Aliyah sisters naturally had no objections. By the way, your gust blade has already been cultivated to the upper limit. Coincidentally, there was a new white silver tier elementary grade martial master in the territory yesterday. The 2 of you can also learn under him after his white silver tier elementary grade dojo is built. Zhou Zhou said. Yes, my lord. The sisters' eyes lit up and said respectfully immediately. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he asked Li Si to arrange a martial arts cultivation room for him. And began to cultivate the gust blade in the martial arts cultivation room. He had not practiced this saber technique for a long time. Now was a good time to practice. Under the special stats of the martial arts cultivation room, martial arts comprehension +2, cultivation efficiency +20%, and the additional 20% effect of promotion energy, Zhou Zhou quickly felt the difference from his usual cultivation. He seemed to have more inspiration and ideas about the martial arts he cultivated. At the same time, when he was cultivating martial arts, he could clearly feel more promotion energy than usual surging into his body as his martial arts movements changed. Zhou Zhou was addicted to this feeling in no time. At the same time, he had an idea. The green bronze tier advanced grade dojo has such an effect. What about a white silver tier elementary grade one? I can visit more often and master another martial arts technique after that white silver tier elementary grade martial master opens the school. Then, Zhou Zhou stopped thinking about it and continued to practice his gust blade. Time passed slowly. Soon. There were only more than 3 hours left until nightfall. At this moment, a line of text suddenly attracted Zhou Zhou's attention, who was practicing martial arts. Your subject has conquered a green bronze tier regional territory, Silent Wasteland, and obtained 4 rankings. Zhou Zhou stopped. He looked at the notification and could not help but smile. Then, he looked at the text notification. During this period of time, there were 5 notifications that the number of rankings had increased. Among them, conquering 3 green bronze tier Scarlet Lord territories gave him 6 additional rankings. There were also 2 black iron tier Scarlet Lord territory that gave him 2 more rankings. Now I can rank 23 times. Zhou Zhou thought in satisfaction. With so many rankings, as long as nothing unexpected happened, it was a sure bet that his Lord rank would advance to green bronze tier elementary grade. However, this was not what Zhou Zhou was looking forward to the most. Today, his Blazing Sun army had conquered a total of 10 Scarlet Lord territories. Among them, there were 5 black iron tier Scarlet Lord territories and 5 green bronze tier Scarlet Lord territories. Which meant Bai Yun and the others would bring him 10 Scarlet Lord corpses today. So many Scarlet Lord corpses. It should be enough to upgrade another Lord talent even if it doesn't drop a new Lord talent. Zhou Zhou thought expectantly. Chapter 164 Trade. White Silver Tier Elementary Grade New Win Ceremony. If audio player doesn't work, press stop then play button again. 164 Trade. White Silver Tier Elementary Grade New Win Ceremony. In the Blazing Sun City, Liya and her maid, Yu Qiao, were taking a walk in the territory. Along the way, she suddenly saw Zhao Changshu, who was gathering people. Elder Zhao, are you going to build new buildings again? Liya walked over and asked curiously. Zhao Changshu thought for a moment. His lord seemed to have intentionally or unintentionally reminded him not to deliberately hide the fact that he wanted to build the white platinum tier advanced grade Aurora Tower. Thinking of this, he nodded in relief. My lord has ordered me to build some white platinum tier and yellow gold tier Aurora Towers in Blazing Sun City and Sand Gold City. That's why I have to gather people now, he said. Liya could not help but frown. White platinum tier Aurora Tower. Wouldn't he need the white platinum tier Aurora crystals? How did the Lord of the Blazing Sun obtain it? She was very puzzled. However, she did not reveal anything on the surface. Instead, she smiled and nodded. So Elder Zhao is going to build the white platinum tier elementary grade or white platinum tier intermediate grade Aurora Tower. If that's the case, the territories under the Lord of the Blazing Sun will be safe for a long time after the white platinum tier Aurora Tower is built. As the princess of the Aurora Kingdom, Liya naturally knew how powerful her kingdom-level building was. It was no exaggeration to say that the reason why the Aurora Kingdom had been able to stand firm under the attack of the Taiyan Kingdom for so many years. Other than the existence of the 3 extraordinary tier heroes in her kingdom, it was the white platinum tier advanced grade Aurora Tower that covered all the important military regions in the Aurora Kingdom. Moreover, the white platinum tier advanced grade Aurora Tower could be rebuilt. They were even more important than extraordinary tier heroes in war to a certain extent. However, what Zhao Changshu said next completely stunned the Aurora Kingdom princess. It's not to build the white platinum tier elementary grade or intermediate grade Aurora Tower. I am going to build the white platinum tier advanced grade Aurora Tower for the Lord. Zhao Changshu shook his head. You've been promoted to a white platinum tier advanced grade architect? Liya was stunned for a moment before saying in surprise. No, I'm already a diamond tier elementary grade architect. Zhao Changshu said. Liya was stunned for a long time before she suddenly said anxiously, wouldn't you be able to build a diamond tier elementary grade Aurora Tower instead then? I haven't had the opportunity to build it yet, but there shouldn't be a problem. Zhao Changshu chuckled. Liya was deeply shocked. Elder Zhao, Liya requests that you return to the Aurora Kingdom. In recent years, the Aurora Kingdom has not been in a good situation. Not only do we have to face the threat of the Taiyan Kingdom, but we also have to guard against the people of foreign races in the north. You know about all of this. As long as you're willing to return to the Aurora Kingdom and take charge of the construction of the Diamond-tier elementary-grade Aurora Tower, I can promise you that Father will definitely give you a status and treatment that's not inferior to an extraordinary tier hero. Li Yi begged seriously. The white platinum tier advanced grade Aurora Tower could face an extraordinary tier expert head-on. The diamond tier elementary grade Aurora Kingdom Tower welcomed a qualitative change and would directly have the power to kill extraordinary tier experts. The strongest expert of an ordinary kingdom level faction was only an extraordinary tier expert. If the Aurora Kingdom had a large number of diamond tier elementary grade Aurora Towers, its military strength would directly increase by one or even several levels. At that time, they would definitely not be as passive as he was now when facing the Taiyan Kingdom and the other people of foreign races. The more Li Yi thought about it, the more excited she became. The appearance of the Diamond Tier Elementary Grade Aurora Tower would allow her to see the new dawn of the Aurora Kingdom. Zhao Changshou looked at her with mixed feelings. Finally, he shook his head. "Your Highness. Don't say such things again. My lord has given me a new lease on life. I'm already dead loyal to my lord. I, Zhao Changshou, will never turn to another country in this life even if I die." He said it extremely firmly and seriously. Li Yi was a little confused. He had only been here for a little more than 10 days and he was actually already dead loyal to that Lord of the Blazing Sun. What charms did he have to make a diamond-tier elementary grade architect treat him so well? She suddenly thought of something. Then, she said goodbye to Zhao Changshou and ran straight to the Lord's residence. "Your Highness, slow down." The maid, Yu Qiao, chased after her. Zhao Changshou was left deep in thought. On the other side, when Li Yi and Yu Qiao arrived at the Lord's residence, they realized that Zhou Zhou was not there. After asking around for a long time, they found out that Zhou Zhou had gone to the dojo. The two of them immediately rushed to the dojo. A moment later, the three of them met in a lounge in the dojo. "Your Highness, why are you looking for me so urgently?" Zhou Zhou looked at Li Yi and asked. "My lord. Li Yi has a request," she said. "Please continue." Zhou Zhou acknowledged. "I want to hire Zhao Changshou, Elder Zhao, to go to our Aurora Kingdom and build the diamond-tier elementary grade Aurora Tower." Li Yi went straight to the point. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. However, he was not surprised. When he told Elder Zhao that he wanted to build the white platinum tier advanced grade Aurora Tower, he had never thought of hiding it from anyone else. He even wanted Elder Zhao to tell Li Yi about this. The fish really took the bait looking at it now. Elder Zhao is the best architect in my territory. He's also an old senior I rely on. Your Highness, this request is really putting me on the spot. Zhou Zhou said with a troubled expression. Our Aurora Kingdom will pay a price that will satisfy the Lord and Elder Zhao. Li Yi said. Then I can consider it. Zhou Zhou's expression changed as he smiled. Li Yi was speechless. Why did she suddenly feel like she had been tricked? What does my lord want? She pondered for a few seconds and asked calmly. I want your Aurora Kingdom to build a diamond-tier elementary-grade Aurora Tower in my Blazing Sun City for free. All the manpower and resources will be provided by you other than Elder Zhao. In addition, I hope you can help if I want to build more advanced Aurora Towers. Of course. It would not be for free. Zhou Zhou smiled. He had this thought in his mind ever since he found out that Zhao Changshou had been promoted to a diamond-tier elementary-grade architect. However, he was limited by manpower and resources at that time, so he could not do it. Now was the perfect time to do this. Okay. I promise you on behalf of my father. Are there any other conditions? Li Yi agreed immediately. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. He thought that she would at least go back and discuss it with the Aurora Kingdom King after she heard this condition. He did not expect her to agree directly. He seemed to have underestimated the ability of this Aurora Kingdom princess. There's another condition. At the moment, I really need Elder Zhao in my territory. You'll let him go to your place to help after Elder Zhao is done with my matters. Zhou Zhou pondered for a moment and said. That's what it should be. It can't be considered a condition. Actually, the Diamond Tier Elementary Grade Aurora Tower can also be completed in the Lord's territory before being transported back to our Aurora Kingdom. There's no need for Elder Zhao to travel a long way to supervise the construction. Liya said. Then so be it. Send over the resources and manpower to build the Diamond Tier Elementary Grade Aurora Tower and transport them back when the construction is complete. Zhou Zhou was stunned for a moment before speaking immediately. It was naturally best if Elder Zhao did not leave the territory. Liya nodded. Then I haven't thought of any other requests for the time being. Let's talk about it when I think of it. Zhou Zhou thought for a moment and said. Liya nodded. Our Aurora Kingdom will always remember and honor this request. She said seriously. Zhou Zhou smiled and nodded. A smile finally appeared on Li Ya's face seeing that the matter was settled. Zhou Zhou was also quite satisfied. This transaction was considered a happy ending. Then, Li Ya asked curiously where the white platinum tier Aurora crystal came from. Zhou Zhou told the other party what had happened before the other party came to a realization. However, she was also amazed by Zhou Zhou's luck. Regarding his luck, Zhou Zhou smiled and did not say anything else. In that case, there's no time to lose. Let's go back now and tell my father about this. Liya stood up and said. Are you in such a hurry? It's almost dark. It won't be too late to leave tomorrow. Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. The sooner we get this done, the better. Otherwise, a large number of Aurora Kingdom subjects will die at the hands of the fog monsters in the Taiyan Kingdom every moment. Liya said solemnly. Since the other party had already said so. Zhou Zhou did not say anything else. Seeing this, Liya and Wuxia went back to pack their luggage. The two of them had just walked out of the Lord's residence. When Wuxia could not help but click her tongue. Your Highness, not long ago, you said that we might be helped by the Lord of the Blazing Sun in the future. I didn't expect it to come so quickly. Things are unpredictable. I didn't expect help to arrive so quickly. But it's a good thing. Liya also felt a little emotional and smiled. Wuxia nodded vigorously. A moment later, the two of them left Blazing Sun City. Zhou Zhou personally sent the two of them out of the city. He was not worried about their safety. This was because Nazario had long reminded him that the two of them were protected by a mysterious guardian. The aura of the guardian even made it feel fear. However, the other party was still polite. The guardian did not even enter the city when Liya and her maid lived in Blazing Sun City, guarding them from outside the city. Perhaps the other party was confident that he or she would rush over immediately even if something happened to Liya and the other party in the city. However, that was not Zhou Zhou's concern. A moment later. Bao Xiu'er came to the Lord's residence to look for him. My lord, this is the White Silver Tier Elementary Grade New Wind ceremony that the teacher has just made. Do you want to try it on? She asked. There's no need to try it on. I still believe in teacher Zhang Li's skills. Zhou Zhou smiled and took the bag of clothes. He took it out and looked at it. The overall style of the White Silver Tier Elementary Grade New Wind ceremony was not much different from before. However, Zhou Zhou could also tell that it had become more exquisite and imposing. A text notification appeared. Outfit name, New Wind Ceremony, Outfit Grade, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade, Set Attribute 1, New Wind Protection. The surface of the New Wind Ceremony is engraved with the New Wind Defense Sigil. It can defend against White Silver Tier physics and energy damage from the outside world. It can also play a certain defensive role against some yellow gold tier physics and energy damage. Set attribute 2, Beauty of the Ceremony, same as before. Set attribute 3, New Wind. Same as before. Current outfit completeness, 5/5, Introduction, a unique piece of equipment for New Wind's tailoring skills. It was inherited from a certain extinct country. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. The increase in the noble charm effect from Beauty of the Ceremony and New Wind's flying effect did not change. However, its defense had been greatly strengthened. The highest could already play a certain defensive role against some yellow gold tier physics and energy damage. This improvement was quite practical. I'll bring Elder Bai to see Teacher Zhongli and Teacher Li Huiwa later. Do you want to come along? Zhou Zhou said. Yes. Bao Xiuer's eyes lit up and she immediately said. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Half an hour later. Bai Yun, Wu Xian, Nazario, Soul Reaper Maris, and a group of soldiers had returned. At the same time, they also brought back all the loots from the 2 green bronze tier regions. Chapter 165 Cerulean Planet's Ancestor Statue, Gong Shuban. New Alchemy Technology. If audio player doesn't work, press stop then play button again. 165 Cerulean Planet's Ancestor Statue, Gong Shuban. New Alchemy Technology. Greetings, my lord. Bai Yun and Wu Xian knelt on the ground and said respectfully. Rise, I already know your results. It's been hard on you guys. Zhou Zhou smiled. This is our duty. Bai Yun said in a deep voice. Since I promised the Lord that I would return victorious, I naturally can't go back on my word. Wu Xian chuckled. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. After that, the two of them reported the results of the day to him. In order to take down 2 green bronze tier regional territories, they had killed more than 15,000 monsters. They used the Conqueror's blast furnace to retrieve the loots. Under the effect of the perfect loots, they obtained a total of 142,546 green bronze tier mist cores, 32,154 white silver tier mist cores, and 718 yellow gold tier mist cores. 24,620 various skill books. Green bronze tier, white silver tier, yellow gold tier, 16,548 pieces of equipment. Green bronze tier, white silver tier, yellow gold tier, 1 Cerulean Planet Ancestor Statue. 2 white silver tier advanced grade alchemy pharmacist recruitment books. 3 white silver tier intermediate grade alchemy technician recruitment books. 32 origin crystals. 5 black iron tier territory tokens. 5 green bronze tier territory tokens. 2 green bronze tier regional tokens. 74 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. Also in today's battle, under the influence of the blessing of the 10 gods, the war god's blessing. Many soldiers also broke through. Now, in his blazing sun army, there were already 1,124 green bronze tier military professionals and 58 white silver tier military professionals. Among the remaining soldiers, the weakest was at the black iron tier intermediate grade. At the end of the battle, Bai Yun's strength also broke through again, reaching the white silver tier advanced grade. Zhou Zhou was quite satisfied. He was even more determined to upgrade the blessing of the 10 gods, the Lord Talent of the blessing of the war god. He happened to obtain enough green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments this time and would be able to upgrade this talent from green bronze tier to white silver tier today. However, he had plenty of time now and was not in a hurry to upgrade it immediately. Therefore, Zhou Zhou looked at the other loots first. Firstly, there was the green bronze tier ancestor statue of the Cerulean planet's human race. Treasure name, Cerulean planet's ancestor statue, Gong Shuban, treasure grade, green bronze tier, treasure effect, place it in the shrine of the Imperial Ancestral Temple and activate the ancestor statue's beneficial effect on territory, subjects, or lords. Treasure description: the ancestor of ancient Chinese civil architecture, the carpenter ancestor, and the ancestor of the opera. Prompt: collect 2 ancestral statues of the same level and the same person and you can fuse them into a higher level ancestral statue. The fused ancestral statue will produce a better buff effect on the territory, subjects, and lords. It's actually Gong Shuban. He's also a big shot. Zhou Zhou was surprised. Then, he put this cerulean planet's ancestor statue into his spatial ring and went to the Imperial Ancestral Temple and placed it in the rightmost shrine. The next second, the Imperial Ancestral Temple shook slightly again. At the same time, a gritted and calm man's voice sounded in his mind. I will not kill anyone. This should be the voice of Ancestor Gong Shuban. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. At this moment, a new text notification appeared. You have placed a green bronze tier ancestor statue of the cerulean planet's human race in the shrine of the Imperial Ancestral Temple, Gong Shuban. You have activated the exclusive ancestral enhancement effect, Heart of the Craftsman. The current ancestor statue has been updated. Current ancestral enhancement effect has been updated. Zhou Zhou opened the current ancestral enhancement effect. A text notification appeared. Ancestral enhancement, Heart of the Craftsman, grade, green bronze tier, enhancement effect 1, increase the efficiency of war machinery manufacturing in the territory by 30%. Enhancement effect 2, construction efficiency of the territory plus 10%. Blessing description, a blessing from cerulean planet's ancestor Gong Shuban. This enhancement can be used soon. After Zhou Zhou saw the enhancement effect, he immediately thought of the Aurora Tower. This was because the Aurora Tower was both a building and a war machine. It could completely take into account the effects of both effects at the same time. Moreover, the construction efficiency of his territory would increase by 10% in the future. This was undoubtedly one of the most needed enhancements for the rapidly developing Blazing Sun City and Sand Gold City. The more Zhou Zhou looked at it, the more satisfied he was with this ancestral enhancement. After that, he bowed 3 times to these 2 ancestors and left the Imperial Ancestral Temple. He came to the Gate of Summoning and threw in 2 white silver tier advanced grade alchemy pharmacist recruitment books and 3 white silver tier intermediate grade alchemy technician recruitment books. Soon, 2 white silver tier advanced grade alchemy pharmacists and 3 white silver tier intermediate grade alchemy technicians walked out of the Gate of Summoning. Greetings, my lord, X5, they said respectfully. Welcome, everyone. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. As expected, these 5 were gnomes from the people of foreign races like Ashburn. He looked at their skill list. The skill list of 2 alchemy pharmacists was similar to Peggy Orlina's in the Gnome Alchemy Workshop. They were all life potions, energy potions, and some unimportant ordinary potions. It was just that the level of the potions was higher. As for the remaining 3 alchemy technicians, even though the contents of the skill list were the same, what they knew attracted Zhou Zhou's attention. Zhou Zhou looked at one of them. Subject, Ivan Rowley, territory, Blazing Sun City, life profession, alchemy technician, profession level, white silver tier intermediate grade, ability overview, member of the Alchemy Technology Guild. He can make some practical alchemy technology products and yearns for money and status. Skills, alchemy technology, mechanical flying claw, black iron tier advanced grade, alchemy technology, mechanostrider, white silver tier elementary grade, alchemy technology, biological prosthesis, white silver tier intermediate grade, loyalty, dead loyal, potential, white platinum tier intermediate grade. Zhou Zhou opened these 3 alchemy technologies and checked their details. Alchemy technology product, mechanical flying claw, grade, black iron tier advanced grade, product effect, press the switch and you can fire a grappling claw to grab an object or life. After that, you can choose to pull yourself closer to the other party or pull the other party to your side. Product description, one of the products of Gnome Alchemy Technology. It is commonly seen in construction work, waste recycling, and disposal. Alchemy technology product, Mechanostrider, grade, white silver tier elementary grade, product effect 1, uses the mist core as a power source and has high-level intelligence. It can carry out most of the orders of the rider. Its normal speed is 300 km per hour. It can easily travel in plains, wilderness, forests, deserts, and other environments. Moreover, it can maintain a certain level of mobility under harsh environment conditions such as magma, swamps, storms, and vortexes. It will not be damaged for a short period of time. Product effect 2, swift flight. The Mechanostrider accelerates the burning of the mist core in its body and activates flight mode. Its flying speed will increase to 2000 km per hour in an hour. An hour later, the Mechanostrider will enter cooldown mode. Its speed will decrease to 1000 km per hour and return to normal 2 hours later. Product description, a combination of gnome alchemy technology and goblin craftsmanship. It contains the crystallization of both parties' wisdom. It is a cheap and practical means of transportation and is deeply loved by adventurers and travelers. Alchemy technology product, biological prosthesis, grade, white silver tier intermediate grade, product effect. It can be installed in the incomplete parts of a disabled life form, allowing the disabled life form to recover the basic biological functions. Product description, one of the representative works of gnome alchemy technology. When it was born, it caused a sensation in the entire alchemy technology world. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up as he looked at the 3 alchemy technologies. Chapter 166 Hero Skill Book. If audio player doesn't work, press stop then play button again. 166 Hero Skill Book. Zhou Zhou looked at the 3 alchemy items. Among them, the mechanical flying claw could be used in the construction process. There was no need to mention the Mechanostrider. Originally, the Mechanostrider was only a black iron tier advanced grade alchemy technology. This has directly increased to the white silver tier elementary grade now. Not only would its speed increase greatly, it would also directly exceed the overcharge mode speed of the original black iron tier advanced grade. Moreover, the original overcharge mode had directly become flight mode. Its flying speed was also quite extraordinary. It could travel 2000 kilometers in an hour. This was already twice the speed of an ordinary civil aircraft on the Cerulean planet. The speed in cooldown mode was comparable to the highest speed of a civil aircraft. Manufacture. He had to manufacture it. Zhou Zhou immediately thought with excitement. This thing was too important to his territory. Zhou Zhou could even build an airport with it. They were here to provide flying services to themselves, the army, the subjects, and even the life forms from the outside world. Wu Tu's reconnaissance team could also be upgraded. As for the final biological prosthesis, it was also very useful. Zhou Zhou was fighting other lords every day. His subjects were all ordinary people. It was not like those high-level races which could regenerate themselves even if their limbs were broken. To ordinary people, disability represents a lifetime of misfortune. Not only would they not be able to be a soldier, their lives would be problematic. Now that he had this biological prosthesis, those disabled subjects could return to their normal lives. They could even join the army or pursue other professions again. It was definitely different from their original limbs. It would already become a huge change to the disabled subjects. What kind of biological prosthesis can you make? Zhou Zhou asked. I can make leg prosthetics. I can make arm prosthetics. I can make both. The 3 white silver tier intermediate grade alchemy technicians said. Can you make fake eyes? The kind that can see things normally? Zhou Zhou asked. The structure of the false eye is even more complicated. We need to be at least at the yellow gold tier to be able to make it. We can't make it yet. Ivan Rowley was in a difficult position. In that case, it's fine. Zhou Zhou could not help but feel that it was a pity. However, he did not care too much. In the future, as the level of the monsters killed by his subjects increased, they would definitely drop higher-level alchemy technician recruitment books. He might be able to create fake eyes when the time comes. Will my territory develop into cyberpunk style in the future? This thought suddenly appeared in Zhou Zhou's mind. Then, he could not help but laugh. Who cares about the style? It doesn't matter as long as he is strong. After that, he asked the two of them about the materials needed to make these three alchemy technologies and the approximate cost. The cost of making the Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Mechanical Flying Claw was 10 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores, a White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Mechanostrider cost 5 White Silver Tier Mist Cores, while a White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade Biological Prosthetic Limb cost 8 White Silver Tier Mist Cores. After Zhou Zhou found out, he immediately set up a transaction to buy the corresponding manufacturing materials in the marketplace. Then, he sent the 5 of them to the Gnome Alchemy Workshop and asked them to work with Ashburn and the others. After the materials arrived, he would specially make these 3 new alchemy technologies. After that, Zhou Zhou returned to the Lord's residence. Then, he took out a set of new skill books he had obtained today and learned them all. There was no harm in having more skills. In any case, there was no limit to the number of skills he could learn. It would not be wrong to learn more. After that, he looked at the remaining loots thoughtfully and did not choose to sell them at the marketplace. This was because these skills and equipment were things that military professionals and subjects had never mastered. In addition, they could not be reproduced through the monster ranches. If they sold them, they would really be gone. He still only wanted to sell the products produced by the monster ranches. As for these loots, they could be put into the military merit exchange system and subject contribution points exchange system to let the military professionals and subjects become stronger. This could also encourage the subjects to make contributions to the territory. Then, he took out the 2 green bronze tier regional tokens. Zhou Zhou looked at them. The item information appeared. Treasure name, regional token, region name, Blackrock Desert, changeable, regional grade, green bronze tier, area size, about 1,211 square kilometers, treasure description, Blackrock Desert's regional token. A lord who possesses this regional token and integrates it into the territory stone tablet can become a Regionath Lord of the Blackrock Desert and obtain an exclusive regional treasure chest. Treasure name, regional token, region name, Silent Wasteland, changeable, regional grade, green bronze tier, area size, about 1,542 square kilometers, treasure description, regional token of the Blazing Sun Desert. The lord who possesses the regional token and fuses it with the territory stone tablet can become the regional lord of the Blazing Sun Desert and obtain a regional exclusive treasure chest. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. As expected of a green bronze tier area. The Blackrock Desert alone was twice the size of the Blazing Sun Desert. The Silent Wasteland was 3 times the size of the Blazing Sun Desert. Then, he came to the territory tablet and fused the 2 regional tokens into it. Rows of golden text notifications appeared. Congratulations on obtaining a green bronze tier regional token, Blackrock Desert. You have officially become the regional lord of this region. Congratulations on obtaining a green bronze tier regional token, Silent Wasteland, and officially becoming the regional lord of this region. New Blackrock Desert and Silent Wasteland have been added to your regional territory. You have obtained 2 regional treasure chests. Zhou Zhou opened his regional territory column. He looked over. Regional territory, Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier, Sand Gold Land, Black Iron Tier, Thorn Dune, Black Iron Tier, Blackrock Desert, Silent Wasteland. I already have 5 regional territories. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. Then, he opened the 2 regional treasure chests. There was a green bronze tier regional resource pack in the Blackrock Desert's regional treasure chest. Inside was a total of 2 million units of basic resources and 50,000 units of green bronze tier materials, forged stainless steel. In the other regional treasure chest, something Zhou Zhou did not expect appeared. It was actually a hero skill book. It recorded a hero skill called the Silent March. Hero skill, Silent March, level, extraordinary tier advanced grade, skill effect. When a hero who has mastered the hero skill, Silent March leads an army to march. After activating the hero skill, the hero and the army he leads will not make any sound during the march for the next period of time. At the same time, they will not leave any traces of marching. Divination-type professionals of the same level will not be able to detect the information of this hero and the army he leads. Prompt 1. The duration of the Silent March will depend on the strength of the hero. The stronger the hero is, the longer it will last, and the harder it will be to be discovered. The weaker the hero, the shorter the duration, and the easier it will be for them to be discovered. Prompt 2. This hero skill is essentially a half-growth skill. The upper limit of growth is extraordinary tier advanced grade. Any hero with a hero's fate level above extraordinary tier can learn it. A regional treasure chest that actually drops a hero skill. This hero skill is too awesome. I like it. Zhou Zhou looked at the hero skill book and was pleasantly surprised. Chapter 167 White Silver Tier Lord Talent. Begin the ranking. If audio player doesn't work, press stop then play button again. 167 White Silver Tier Lord Talent. Begin the ranking, let Bai Yun use it. Zhou Zhou thought for a moment and immediately made a decision. Not only was Bai Yun the commander of the Blazing Sun Army, she was also an epic tier hero with a higher potential than Elder Wu. Moreover, she had followed him the longest and made the most contributions. There were so many reasons. She was naturally the person with the most potential and qualifications to use this hero skill. Zhou Zhou was not a hero yet, so he naturally could not learn this hero skill. After that, he sent someone to call Bai Yun over and handed this hero skill to her. Bai Yun was shocked when she saw the hero skill in her hand. As a hero, she naturally knew the importance of hero skills. It could be said that heroic skills and the fate level were the two symbolic statuses of heroes. Both of them were indispensable. The Lord actually handed such an important treasure to him. Thank you, my Lord. I will definitely not let you down, my Lord. I will develop this hero skill to the greatest extent. Bai Yi took a deep breath and thanked him respectfully. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. He was about to say something when he saw Bai Yun hesitate and say, by the way, my lord. Aliyah and Atli came to look for me just now. They said they wanted to find a job in the territory. After thinking about it, I finally feel that you need them the most, my lord. Why do you say that? Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. Because the Lord's territory is no longer the same as before. The Lord is busy every day. Under such circumstances, how can my Lord not have at least 2 servants you can order around at any time? Like just now. I'm afraid my Lord would still get a soldier you found on the spot to call me, right? Bai Yun said. Zhou Zhou opened his mouth and realized that he could not refute. He had indeed found the patrol soldiers and asked them to go to Bai Yun and call her over. Thinking of this, he really needed 2 people who could help him at any time. Sure. Well, do as you say. Zhou Zhou agreed without hesitation. In any case, there were guest rooms in the mansion now. Since the 2 of them were here and they had a ready-made place to live. They could also increase the population of such a huge lord's residence. Bai Yun nodded. After that, Zhou Zhou asked Bai Yi to go to the soldiers and get them to prepare to enter the battlefield of the lords of all races. Bai Yi immediately took her leave. Then, Zhou Zhou took out 100 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. He looked at the fragments. Soon, a line of golden words slowly appeared. Discovered 100 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. Do you want to fuse them into a white silver tier Lord Talent origin divine crystal? Yes. Zhou Zhou said. The next second, a large amount of green bronze light flashed. Then, a thumb-sized hexagonal silver crystal appeared in front of him. It was surrounded by a silver-white belt of light that looked like a ring of stars. It was the white silver tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. Treasure name, Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal, Treasure grade, White Silver tier, Treasure effect 1, the Lord will randomly awaken a green bronze tier Lord Talent after absorbing it. Treasure effect 2, a Lord with a green bronze tier Lord Talent can use it to upgrade his green bronze tier Lord Talent to a white silver tier Lord Talent. Treasure description, a law treasure condensed by the Supreme Will. It can be used to awaken talent or upgrade talents. Absorb/upgrade. Upgrade. Zhou Zhou said in a low voice. As you have 3 green bronze tier Lord Talents, Gnome Alchemy Workshop, Insight Defection, and 10 God's Blessing, War God's Blessing, please choose one to upgrade. I choose to upgrade the Blessing of the 10 Gods, the Blessing of the War God. Zhou Zhou said. The other 2 green bronze tier Lord Talents were not bad. However, he still felt that increasing the Blessing of the 10 Gods, the Blessing of the War God was the best choice. Lord Talent has been chosen. Upgrading in progress, the next second. A familiar warm feeling came from between his eyebrows. A moment later, the warmth faded. A new text notification appeared. Lord Talent upgrade successful. Congratulations, your green bronze tier Lord Talent, Blessing of the 10 Gods, the Blessing of the War God, has been upgraded to green bronze tier Lord Talent, Blessing of the 10 Gods, the Blessing of the War God. Your mythical tier Lord Talent effect is as follows: Lord Talent, Blessing of the 10 Gods, Blessing of the War God, White Silver tier, Blessing of the 10 Gods, the Blessing of the War God, one of the 10 War Gods under the Supreme Will has blessed you and your military professions. You and your military professions will obtain an additional 400% promotion energy after killing the enemy. This improvement is not bad. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up when he saw the contents of the enhanced talent. From the original, obtain an additional 200% promotion energy, to obtain an additional 400% promotion energy. In the future, killing 1 enemy with his soldiers would be equivalent to killing 5 enemies. This is only at White Silver tier. What about the mythical tier? Zhou Zhou could not help but look forward to it. A moment later, he came back to his senses and looked at the crystal fragment of the Lord Talent he had before falling into deep thought. If I want to continue upgrading this Lord Talent, I can either obtain another 7 yellow gold tier Lord Talent crystal fragments, or obtain another 973 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. Zhou Zhou was a little stunned thinking of this. More than 900 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. How long would it take him to gather them? It would take 14 days to gather even if he could obtain Lord Talent crystal fragments every day. However, it was only the 11th day since he came to the High Continent. He was guaranteed that he would experience another round of drastic changes in another 14 days. He'll save the remaining 27 Lord Talent crystal fragments to upgrade the other green bronze tier Lord Talent. It's a little too far away to upgrade to White Silver tier Lord Talent. Zhou Zhou thought. Actually, these 27 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments could also be used to upgrade the Black Iron tier Lord Talent, return to the city. However, Zhou Zhou felt that there was no need. He had not used the Black Iron tier Lord Talent, return to the city, too many times until now. It was not practical and would not be too late to upgrade it when it was needed. After that, Zhou Zhou opened the battlefield shop in the Lord Battlefield function. He looked at the goods inside and pondered for a while. Then, he temporarily decided not to buy them. There was no need to buy these things now. For example, the Territory Rebirth token. He had yet to encounter an opponent who could defeat him, so he had yet to use the 3 Territory Rebirth tokens in his hands and naturally did not need to buy any more. Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou closed the battlefield shop and walked out of the residence, getting the soldiers to prepare for battle. Then, he opened the Lord Battlefield again and clicked on Ranking. A text notification appeared. Matching with your ranking opponent, match successful. Entering the battlefield. Chapter 168 Master-Slave Territory Contract. Completed. If audio player doesn't work, press stop then play button again. 168 Master-Slave Territory Contract. Completed. Zhou Zhou calmly watched his body slowly turn illusory. Soon, his entire body disappeared. When he saw his surroundings again, he realized that he had appeared on a grassy plain. He stood on the city wall and looked into the distance. This grassland was very vast, with no end in sight. Occasionally, he could see a few small animals leisurely eating grass and playing. I haven't seen such a scene in a long time. A breeze blew past. The faint fragrance of grass made Zhou Zhou sigh. There was a city further away. There were bungalows connected to each other inside and 4 walls that were only more than 10 meters tall. As there was no obstruction in his vision, he immediately saw the creature living inside. They were strong sheep with fiery red horns burning like flames on their heads. Some of them were preparing for battle, while others were wolfing down the black meat. Zhou Zhou looked at one of the strongest sheep. It lived in the center of all the sheep and looked at Zhou Zhou from afar. The other party was 4 to 5 meters tall. Its fur was burning with flames, and its pair of fiery red goat eyes were suffused with a violent red light. The 2 goat horns on its head were more than 2 meters long. At a glance, it was simply like a mutated beast from the classic of mountains and seas. A notification appeared. Name of the Lord of the Foreign Race, Lord of the Original Sheep, Slow Goat King, Strength Level, Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade, People of Foreign Race Description, a Lord of the Scarlet Flame Sheep Race from the Green Grass World. Its favorite food is the wolf meat of the Black Mountain Wolf. It is irritable and likes meat. It was born with a weak ability to control fire due to its race talent. Loot's drop rate, none. Zhou Zhou flipped his right hand. The Index of All Races, Book 1, appeared in his hand. As a wisp of energy surged into the index, Zhou Zhou could clearly feel that this index seemed to have unlocked something. He immediately flipped to the first page. It was still the index of the gopher race. Then, he turned to the second page. It was an illustration of the Scarlet Flame Sheep Race. Scarlet Flame Sheep Race, the Scarlet Flame Sheep Race from the Green Grass World. Ever since they were born, they were surrounded by the life force that filled the Green Grass World. They were not only strong by birth, they also had a weak ability to control flames. It's easy for them to go berserk in battle, but their combat strength will double. They have been summoned to the High Continent by the Supreme Will. Zhou Zhou retracted his gaze and put away the Index of All Races, Book 1. At this moment, a new text notification appeared. You have entered the Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Battlefield. You and your opponent have been randomly assigned to the Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Battlefield, Green Grass Plain. Your opponent is, Lord of the Scarlet Flame Sheep Race, Lord of the Original Sheep, conditioned to defeat the enemy, kill all the enemy forces within 24 hours. If you exceed the time limit, both sides will be judged to have negative battle results. Ranking -1. You have 10 minutes to deploy your forces. Countdown, 9 minutes, 59 seconds, Zhou Zhou immediately began to deploy. This time, other than by Yun, Wuxia, Maris, Nazario, Ox Demons, Ah-Tu, and other high-end combatants, he had only summoned 12,000 Blazing Sun Army soldiers. This was because after deploying soldiers in the Lord battlefield, the soldiers in reality would disappear. This was also what Jing Yuanqi told Zhou Zhou after he returned from the Lord battlefield for the first time. Therefore, the more than 5,000 soldiers he did not deploy this time were left behind to protect his Blazing Sun City and Sand Gold City. After Bai Yun and the others appeared, Zhou Zhou immediately asked them to start setting up defenses. Bai Yun, Wuxia, and the others immediately accepted the order. A moment later, the 12,000 soldiers were all arranged in their positions. After a while, a text notification appeared. Deployment time has ended. The Lord War has begun. Prepare for battle. Zhou Zhou looked at the city in the distance and said in a low voice. When Bai Yun heard this, she immediately asked the soldiers to prepare for battle. Soon, they saw more than 600 Scarlet Flame sheep race and some people of foreign races that they had enslaved roaring at Blazing Sun City as they rushed over unstoppably. Zhou Zhou and the others were stunned when they saw this. Bai Yun even applied the blood eye to see if the other party had any other hidden cards. In the end, she realized that the other party had really attacked with all their might, leaving no way out for them. The other party probably knew that we were humans through the index of all races, so they felt that we were very weak and rushed over. Wuxia was also slightly stunned before making a guess. Rash idiots. Bai Yun shook her head. Zhou Zhou also smiled. He was really afraid that the other party would keep hiding and not come out to drag it out. Since the other party liked death so much, he would give them a quick death. When they get closer, get the long-range soldiers to start firing at the same time. After the enemy begins to escape, get the sword-shield soldiers, Pudeo soldiers, and golems to leave the city immediately to chase after them and kill all the remaining enemies as soon as possible. Bai Yun, be prepared to attack at any time to prevent the enemy from hiding any tricks. Soul Reaper Maris can attack immediately. Zhou Zhou said. Yes. A large number of responses immediately came from behind him. Soul Reaper Maris sat cross-legged without another word. Then, his soul left the body and flew expressionlessly towards the Scarlet Flame sheep race with the black scythe in his hand. It quickly flew amidst the enemy. It had already reached the Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade and could instantly kill enemies below the Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. As the scythe swung, the enemies fell one by one silently under its God of Death scythe. A kill notification appeared. Your subject Maris has killed the Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Scarlet Flame sheep race. Promotion energy +4. Blessing of the War God, your subject Maris has obtained an additional 16 promotion energy points. Your subject Maris has killed a Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Scarlet Flame sheep race. Promotion energy +20. Blessing of the War God, your subject Maris has obtained an additional 80 promotion energy points. Your subject Maris has killed the Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade Scarlet Flame sheep race. Promotion energy +80. Blessing of the War God, your subject Maris has obtained an additional 320 promotion energy points. Zhou Zhou felt rather comfortable when he saw these kill notifications and felt the promotion energy flowing into his body. He felt that he was almost at the White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade. This White Silver Tier Blessing of the 10 Gods, the Blessing of the War God not only increased the speed at which the soldier's strength increased greatly, but it also increased his strength as the Lord behind the scenes. One word. Awesome. At the same time. At this moment, the Scarlet Flame sheep race, which had gradually lost their rationality because of the corrosion of their battle will, did not care about the death of their kind beside them. There was only one thought left in their minds. Break through the city wall in front of them. Kill all the enemies inside. Soon. They arrived within the range of the Blazing Sun Army's long-range soldiers. With Bai Yun's order, the 1,000 elemental archers and 2,000 poison crossbow soldiers immediately began firing at the same time. Then, another volley was fired. After 2 rounds of volleys, Zhou Zhou looked at the battlefield below again. The more than 600 Scarlet Flame sheep race and the enslaved foreign race had already fallen to the ground and were no longer breathing. Even the Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade Lord of the Scarlet Flame sheep race, Lord of the original sheep, had been shot into a beehive-like corpse. Zhou Zhou shook his head. A rash race. He did not even use his trump card and they actually cracked. If only I could encounter such a weak and boorish lord during every ranking. Then my advancement speed will definitely be shockingly fast. Zhou Zhou sighed. At this moment, a golden text notification appeared. You have defeated the Lord of the Scarlet Flame Sheep Race, Lord of the Original Sheep, Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade. You have won this ranking competition. Congratulations, you have advanced to Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade in the Lord Battlefield of all races. You need to participate in at least one ranking competition every 3 days. Otherwise, your rank will -1. Your battlefield shop has been updated. You can return to your territory. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. He was not too excited. He naturally did not feel that there was anything to be proud of after killing such a weak and brainless lord. He muttered to himself to return and brought everyone back to Blazing Sun City. In the Blazing Sun City. When Zhou Zhou appeared again, he immediately asked the soldiers to rest and prepare for the next Lord War. Then, he opened the battlefield shop and looked at the new goods inside. When he saw the new product, Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. 7. 1 Black Iron Tier Master Servant Territory Contract, remaining purchases, 1, price, 10 Black Iron Tier Territory Tokens, so expensive? What is it? Zhou Zhou opened its detailed information curiously. Treasure name, Master Servant Territory Contract, Treasure Grade, Black Iron Tier, Treasure Effect 1, the Lord can make a Lord's Black Iron Tier territory his subordinate territory after using it. The Lord of the subordinate territory and the sovereignty of his territory will belong to the Lord of the main territory. The subordinate territory cannot disobey the Lord's orders. At the same time, the Lord of the main territory will bear the responsibility of protecting the subordinate territory. Treasure Effect 2, after the master-slave relationship is set up, a spatial teleportation array will appear in both territories, allowing both territories to exchange needs and provide military assistance. Treasure Description, it is an unequal contract, but many lords will need it. It's actually such a treasure. Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. The first person he thought of was Linger. With this master-servant territory contract and the spatial teleportation array it provided, they could meet in reality. In the future, there would be no need to go through so much trouble and treat him like an outsider. However, the content of this master-servant territory contract did look a little unequal. He had to ask Linger first. If Linger was unwilling, he would naturally not force her. Zhou Zhou did not look for Linger immediately. Instead, he activated the next Lord ranking. This time, his opponent was a Lord of the Wilderness Spirit Monster race. The other party was much smarter than the Scarlet Flame Sheep race and knew how to avoid the Blazing Sun army. However, because they were not very strong, Zhou Zhou and the others only used about half an hour to end this round of the Lord War. A golden text notification appeared. You have defeated the Wilderness Spirit Monster Lord, Lord of the Windchaser, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Lord. You have won this ranking competition. Congratulations, you have advanced to Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade in the Lord Battlefield of all races. Congratulations, you have completed your ranking competition and achieved the basic goal of this Myriad Races Lord Battlefield event. You have obtained the Green Bronze Tier title, Green Bronze Tier Lord. You have obtained 1 Lord Tier treasure chest. You need to participate in at least one ranking competition every 3 days. Otherwise, your rank will -1. Your battlefield shop has been updated. You can return to your territory. Zhou Zhou looked at the notification and nodded in satisfaction. Chapter 169 Event Limited Fashion. New Cerulean Planet Human Race Building. If audio player doesn't work, press stop then play button again. 169 Event Limited Fashion. New Cerulean Planet Human Race Building. The ranking match is a little easy. Zhou Zhou thought ruefully. However, this was normal. If even he, as the top lord of the race, felt that it was very difficult to achieve the basic goal of the event, it would basically be equivalent to committing collective suicide if the other human lords of the cerulean planet participated in this myriad races lord battlefield activity. This was only the first official lord event. No matter how much the Supreme will wanted to select the lord of all races, it would not be so crazy to increase the difficulty. I still can't relax. My target is the strongest lord of my race. I'm still a long way from that goal. Zhou Zhou calmed down and thought. Then, he opened the basic target reward he had just obtained. First was the Green Bronze Tier title, Green Bronze Tier Lord. Title name, Green Bronze Tier Lord, Title quality, Green Bronze Tier, Enhanceable, Title effect 1, when fighting against the enemy forces of the Scarlet Fog, you and your subjects will obtain an additional 5% increase in strength. Title effect 2, when you speak in the world channel within the race, the suffix of your Lord Battlefield title will be added behind your title. You can take the initiative to turn it off or activate it. Title description, a limited title for the Myriad Races Lord Battlefield event. It represents the recognition by the Supreme Will for the strength of the Lord. As the rank increases or decreases, this title will also be promoted or demoted. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. This title effect was quite practical. The 5% increase in strength might not be high, but it was already quite good for a Green Bronze Tier title to have such an enhancement effect and range. Then, he looked at the Lord's treasure chest. It was a bronze treasure chest that was 1 meter long, wide, and tall. A text notification appeared. Lord Tier Treasure Chest, in the Myriad Races Lord Battlefield event, the exclusive reward will only be given after the Lord completes the ranking competition. Zhou Zhou opened it. He realized that there were 3 Green Bronze Tier Territory Rebirth tokens and a Green Bronze Tier outfit inside. The Green Bronze Tier Territory Rebirth token had the same function as the Black Iron Tier Territory Rebirth token. It was only effective against the Green Bronze Tier Lord ranking competition. Even though this green bronze colored outfit was a little simple, it exuded a dignified aura. The outfit consists of a top, pants, gloves, shoes, and shirt. He took it out and looked at it. A text notification appeared. Fashion outfit name, Battlefield Recruit, Event Limited Fashion, Fashion Grade, Green Bronze Tier, Enhanceable, Fashion Feature 1. Reduces 20% of sustained damage Green Bronze Tier and below by the wearer. Fashion Feature 2, Leave the battlefield, in the Bronze Tier Lord Battlefield ranking, if you have a Green Bronze Tier Territory Rebirth token and your side is at a disadvantage, the Lord has the right to voluntarily admit defeat and automatically withdraw from the Lord Battlefield ranking. Fashion Feature 3, you can take the initiative to choose to hide the equipment or fashion outfit you are wearing and only show the clothes you want to be seen by life forms from the outside world. Fashion Outfit Feature 4, Comfort plus 3, Current Fashion Outfit Completeness, 5/5, Introduction, a limited fashion outfit for the Myriad Races Lord Battlefield. Not only does it have the functions that normal equipment should have, it also has some unique functions in the Lord Battlefield. The Supreme Will understands very well. Event Limited Fashion Outfit has been created. Zhou Zhou sighed. As for these 4 fashion characteristics, there was nothing much to say about the first one. It was an equipment ability that normal defense equipment had. The second one was more interesting. This should be given for a dignified defeat for the lords who had lost in the Lord Battlefield and would save the Lord from having to experience what it was like to die before losing. He should be able to use this when he encounters powerful enemies in the future. Therefore, Zhou Zhou quite liked it as well. Fashion Feature 3 and 4, both paid more supportive roles. There was some use but not too much. Then, Zhou Zhou opened the Battlefield shop and looked at the updated content and then raised his eyebrows. Because he realized that the Green Bronze Tier Battlefield shop had changed greatly compared to before. 1. Cerulean Planet Human Race Building, architectural blueprint fragment of the Triumphal Arch, 1/7, remaining purchases, 1, price, 5 green bronze tier territory tokens, 2, 100 designated black iron tier elementary grade military professionals, remaining purchases, 10, price, 1 green bronze tier territory token, 3 10 designated green bronze tier basic lifestyle professionals, remaining purchases, 10, price, 1 green bronze tier territory token, 4, green bronze tier. Resurrection token, exclusive to the Lord battlefield, remaining purchases, 10, price, 1 green bronze tier territory token, 5, green bronze tier territory rebirth token, exclusive to the Lord battlefield, remaining purchases, 10, price, 3 green bronze tier territory tokens, 6, green bronze tier +1, remaining purchases, 1, price, 5 green bronze tier territory tokens, 7, 1 black iron tier master servant territory contract, remaining purchases, 1, price, 10 black iron tier territory tokens, 8, gate of summoning reset card, remaining purchases, 10, price, 1 black iron tier territory token. Zhou looked at the ranking in amazement. Firstly, the original black iron tier territory rebirth token, resurrection token, and black iron tier +1 had disappeared. Other than the 3 goods, the other black iron tier battlefield goods were still preserved. Not only that, after Zhou advanced to the green bronze tier, corresponding green bronze tier exchange items were also added. The exchange price of these goods had also changed from the black iron tier territory token to the bronze tier territory token. Among these goods, the thing that attracted Zhou's attention the most was naturally the blueprint fragment of the number 1 human race on the Cerulean planet. The Triumphal Arch. Zhou had heard of this building since he was young. He originally thought that he would not have a chance to see this historical building after coming to the High Continent. He did not expect it to appear in front of him again in the form of a human race building on the Cerulean planet. Zhou clicked on its details curiously. Construction blueprint name, Triumphal Arch, 1/7, construction blueprint level, special, unique, construction blueprint effect, triumph glory, when the Lord and his military professionals subject return victorious after the war and pass through the Triumphal Arch, if the promotion energy in the Lord and his military professionals subject has already accumulated to more than 80%. There is a 50% chance of directly obtaining the promotion energy that is lacking and directly obtaining a breakthrough in strength realm. Construction blueprint description, the blueprint of the human race on Cerulean planet. Good news arrived from the battlefield yesterday for the triumphant return of the army today. When Zhou saw the construction effect of the Triumphal Arch, there was only one thought in his mind. I have to own it. The construction function of this Triumphal Arch was a perfect match for his blessing of the 10 gods, the blessing of the war god. With these 2 lord talents that increased his strength and the buildings of the human race on the Cerulean planet, wouldn't the strength of the military professionals under his command increase? Then, he noticed the level description of this blueprint. Special, unique. What did this mean? Zhou was a little puzzled. If it was a unique blueprint, how could every green bronze tier lord exchange for it? Just as he was thinking, a line of text appeared. Supreme Will Notification 1. The Triumphal Arch has a total of 7 blueprint fragments. The first 6 blueprint fragments can be exchanged for after every Cerulean planet lord reaches the corresponding lord battlefield rank. However, the 7th blueprint fragment is the only blueprint fragment. Only lords of the same race who have reached the epic tier or obtained the title of the strongest lord can buy it. Supreme Will Notification 2. When the last blueprint fragment is obtained, the blueprint fragments in the hands of the other lords will disappear. The Triumphal Arch will become the complete blueprint of the Cerulean planet's human race. Zhou thoughtfully looked at the notifications of the Supreme Will. It seemed that he had to increase the speed of his ranking. Then, he looked at the battlefield shop and spent 5 green bronze tier territory tokens and 10 black iron tier territory tokens to exchange for the Triumphal Arch blueprint fragment and the black iron tier master servant territory contract. Then, he looked at the territory tokens he owned. He realized that he only had 2 green bronze tier territory tokens and 3 black iron tier territory tokens left. We have to conquer other territories tomorrow. Zhou Zhou thought. The territory token was totally not enough at all. After that, he was not in a hurry to lead the soldiers to continue fighting on the Lord's battlefield. The soldiers had been fighting for a full day after all. They could not continue fighting like this even if they were made of iron. In any case, there was enough time. It was only the first day of the Myriad Races Lord Battlefield event. There was still time to play ranking tomorrow after the soldiers completely recovered their spirits and stamina. The sky was not dark yet. Zhou Zhou thought for a moment and sent someone to call Bai Yuejing and Wu Xian. After asking Elder Bai to treat a patient in Fish Spring Town, he brought him and Wu Xian onto Nazario's back and flew towards Fish Spring Town. Chapter 170 Bai Yuejing and Sun Simiao. The collision of the 2 medical systems. Fish Spring Town. After Zhou Zhou arrived, he brought the 3 of them to Zhang Li's new wind tailor shop. Teacher, Grandmaster, I'm here. As soon as Bao Xiu'er arrived at the entrance of the shop, she ran in excitedly with a gift. Zhou Zhou and the others looked at each other and smiled before walking in. How old are you? Why are you still acting like a crazy girl? They saw Zhang Li saying dotingly to Bao Xiu'er as soon as they entered the house. I haven't grown up yet. I'll always be my teacher's girl. Bao Xiu'er giggled. Oh yes. The Lord and the 2 big shots in Blazing Sun City came with me this time. She came back to her senses and said quickly. Teacher Zhang. We're sorry to disturb you. Zhou Zhou said with a smile when he entered. My lord, what are you saying? Let's go into the courtyard first. Xiu'er, take the lord and the others to rest first. I'll close the shop first, then come back. Zhang Li immediately stood up and said. Bao Xiu'er nodded and led Zhou Zhou and the other 2 into the courtyard. They sat down in a room and quickly served local specialties. Soon, Zhang Li came back. This senior is the deputy commander of our Blazing Sun City's Blazing Sun Legion, Legion Commander Wu Xian. He is also the previous great general of the Aurora Kingdom. Bao Xiu'er introduced Wu Xian and Bai Yuejing to her teacher. I've heard of Old Master Wu's name for a long time. I've finally seen you in person today. Zhang Li said respectfully. She had heard of Wu Xin's name before he became a subject of the Aurora Kingdom. As for the reason why this big shot would follow his lord, she was not very surprised. This was because there had been rumors in Fish Spring Town recently that many retired big shots of the Aurora Kingdom had joined Blazing Sun City, including Wu Xian. Therefore, she only confirmed it now. Wu Xian smiled and nodded. As for this elderly gentleman, he's also very impressive. This sir's surname is Bai. Before he retired, he was an imperial doctor of the Aurora Kingdom and the vice president of the Aurora Kingdom Physician Association. The main reason why we're here this time is to let Elder Bai take a look at Grandmaster's condition and see if there's any way to treat her. Bao Xiu'er nodded and introduced Bai Yuejing seriously. After hearing her disciple's introduction, Zhang Li, who had always been calm, immediately stood up and looked at Bai Yuejing excitedly. Can you really save my teacher? She could not help but say excitedly. Calm down. I can only make a judgment after seeing your master. Bai Yuejing did not guarantee anything. Even though he was a diamond-tier intermediate-grade doctor, there were always all kinds of illnesses in the world. No doctor dared to guarantee that they could cure others without seeing the patient. Sorry. I was too anxious. Zhang Li calmed down when she heard this, but she looked at Bai Yuejing with anticipation. Since we're at this point, let's go see Elderly now. Zhou Zhou said. It's getting dark. My lord, you're already very tired from rushing here. Why don't we have a meal and rest before going to see my teacher? Teacher's condition is still relatively stable at the moment. It won't matter if it takes a while. Zhongli was a little embarrassed. The patient is the most important. We can't delay it. We'd better go now. Bai Yuejing shook his head. Since the other party had already said so, the others had no objections. Seeing this, Zhongli led everyone to Li Huiyu's room. Zhou Zhou asked everyone to be quiet after arriving at elder Li Huiyu's room. Then, he saw Bai Yuejing walk forward alone. He sat in front of Li Huiyue and placed his hand above her heart. Wisps of gentle energy that emitted a pale white light surged out of his body and entered Li Huiyu's heart. Bai Yuejing closed his eyes. He began to sense Li Huiyu's condition. The treatment system of the human doctors on the high continent was very different from that of the cerulean planet. As doctors were a type of professionals, they naturally grasped the extraordinary tier professional power that belonged solely to doctors. So the normal way they treat patients was, he would fuse the doctor's extraordinary tier energy in his body into the patient's heart and blood. Then, he would let the heart push the blood to circulate the doctor's extraordinary tier energy throughout the patient's body. He would use this method to sense the situation in the patient's entire body. The higher the level of the doctor, the more he could understand the patient's condition through this method. It could even heal patients through the extraordinary tier energy of doctors. At this moment, Bai Yuejing used this method. A moment later, Bai Yuejing opened her eyes and frowned deeply. Did your master once do something that lasted for a long time without sleep or food? He looked at Zhongli and asked. Zhongli's eyes were blank. Then, she seemed to have thought of something and nodded with uncertainty. That seemed to have happened. Back when I was living separately from teacher, she was looking for all kinds of high-level textile materials. She seemed to want to make a relatively high-grade costume. Teacher was already like this when I saw her again. She replied. Bai Yuejing nodded. Then, he shook his head. An equipment that can make an extraordinary tier tailor exhaust most of the blood essence and potential in her body should be an epic tier equipment. Zhou Zhou and the others were shocked. Exhausted most of the blood essence and potential in her body just to build an epic tier equipment. Bao Xiuer's grandmaster was an extraordinary tier tailor. Many speculations immediately popped up in their minds. Is there a way to cure my teacher? Zhongli could not help but ask. It's very difficult. The function of her internal organs is close to zero. Most of her essence blood has also been used up. Even her potential has fallen to the white platinum tier. Honestly, I think it's a miracle that she's still alive. Bai Yuejing shook his head. As a diamond tier intermediate grade imperial doctor, he had seen countless patients since he was young. But even so, he had rarely seen someone like Li Huiyue, who looked alive but was actually close to death. Zhongli's face turned pale. Bai Yuejing was about to comfort him. At this moment, don't give up. There's still a chance of survival. A serious and old voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Bai Yuejing was stunned. Then, he reacted. This was a notification from the great doctor of the Imperial Ancestral Temple, the author of the essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies. How can I treat her? He immediately asked in his heart. The patient's internal organs are exhausted, her potential is decreasing, her life is about to end. Ordinary life-saving methods are no longer useful. The most important thing now is to restore the patient's physique and spirit to a normal state. Then, restore her potential and use a great tonic to restore her vitality. In the end, the patient can be cured through recuperation and the self-healing method of the life form's potential. I'll explain. Take note. 3 liters of ginger juice, 2 liters of charred tiger bones, 5 liters of 1,000-year-old ginseng, 10 liters of appendix. Bai Yuejing was about to record it, but he immediately looked confused when he heard this. Sun Simiao seemed to have thought of something and his voice stopped abruptly. Then, he smiled. I was confused. I forgot that your side is an alternate world. Then let me put it another way. If you have any thoughts, you can communicate with me at any time. 2 liters of white silver tear medicinal herb, blood mulberry wood core, 1 liter of white silver tear medicinal herb, orchid spirit grass, 5 pieces of white silver tear medicinal herb, 3 spirit water leaf, 3 green bronze tear medicinal herb, 6-eyed ghost flowers. Finally, give the patient a bottle of extraordinary tear potential advancement potion. The potential of your world is extraordinary. It would not be inferior to divine-level medicine if used well. Thank you for your guidance. I've benefited a lot. Bai Yuejing said in shock. He already knew the treatment idea through the prescription provided by Sun Simiao. The collision and intersection of the 2 medical systems gave him inspiration. He even felt like he was seeing the path of an extraordinary tear doctor. At this moment, Bai Yuejing was even more grateful to the Lord for handing the essential prescriptions worth 1,000 gold for emergencies to him for safekeeping. This was almost equivalent to a huge opportunity for him. At this moment, Sun Simiao's voice was no longer in his mind. Seeing this, Bai Yuejing came in front of Zhou Zhou and told him about his conversation with Sun Simiao. Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. Then, he agreed to his request for an extraordinary tear potential advancement potion without hesitation. Saving people was more important now. Moreover, every living lord of all races still had 1 bottle of extraordinary tear potential advancement potion rewarded when they became an official lord other than the ones that had been used. He had used up all his extraordinary tear potential advancement potion. Then he would just snatch it again. Zhou Zhou did not feel guilty at all about doing something like that to the enemy. Chapter 171 Peace and Prosperity Achievement accomplished. Lord Talent that can advance. Bai Yuejing looked at Zhongli, who was already in a daze after he reached an agreement with Zhou Zhou. Don't panic. A great doctor just told me how to heal your teacher. Your teacher should be fine if we just follow the treatment. Bai Yuejing smiled. When Zhongli heard this, her expression immediately turned from sorrow to joy as she looked at Bai Yuejing excitedly. Really? She asked in disbelief. Bai Yuejing nodded. If the effect is good, your teacher might even retain her extraordinary tear tailoring skills. Zhongli and Bao Xiu'er were pleasantly surprised. Thank you, Divine Doctor, for saving her life. Thank you, Elder Bai. The 2 of them said excitedly. Don't thank me. If you want to thank someone, thank the Lord and that great doctor. Especially the Lord. The Lord gave up a bottle of extraordinary tear potential advancement potion in order to treat your teacher. Bai Yuejing shook his head. An extraordinary tear potential advancement potion. One could imagine how precious such a potion was to humans with potential. He was only testing his Lord just now, he did not expect his Lord to really agree. He sighed in his heart. Only a great Lord like his Lord could give up such a precious treasure without hesitation for someone he had never even spoken to. Thinking of this, he felt even more acutely that joining Blazing Sun City and becoming a subject under the Lord was the right choice. At the same time, a line of golden text appeared in front of Zhou Zhou. Your subject Bai Yuejing's loyalty has increased to 100. He has become your dead loyal subject. He winced. Then, he smiled. Thank you, my lord, for saving my teacher's life. From now on, Zhongli's life belongs to the Lord. When Zhongli heard Bai Yuejing's words, she was both shocked and touched. She came in front of Zhou Zhou and said without hesitation. As soon as he finished speaking, a new text notification appeared in front of Zhou Zhou. Prompt, Zhongli, White Platinum Tier Elementary Grade Tailor, has volunteered to become your official subject. Your subject Zhongli's loyalty has increased to 100. She has become your dead loyal subject. Peace and Prosperity Lord Talent Notification. There are already 1,000 subjects with 90 loyalty points and above in your territory. Prompt: there are changes to your Lord Talent, Peace and Prosperity, Diamond Tier Lord Talent. Please check in time. Zhou Zhou was stunned. Changes to Peace and Prosperity? He immediately opened the Lord Talent information of Peace and Prosperity. Lord Talent, Peace and Prosperity, Diamond Tier, Peace and Prosperity, same as before. Specific Talent Effect 1, same as before. Specific Talent Effect 2, same as before. Specific Talent Effect 3, same as before. Specific Talent Effect 4, your territory is famous. Many life forms know that your territory is a territory of peace and prosperity, slightly increasing the probability of foreign life forms coming to seek refuge. Specific Talent Effect 5, when the number of subjects with loyalty of 90 points and above in the territory reaches 1 million, peace and prosperity will advance to the extraordinary tier Lord Talent, Peaceful Times. Current number of people, 1000/10000000. Zhou Zhou looked at its new talent information in surprise. The current peace and prosperity had given his territory a good reputation, it had also slightly increased the probability of foreign life forms coming to join him. Moreover, it could actually advance. This was the first time Zhou Zhou had seen a Lord Talent that could advance on its own without the need for the Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. However, the requirements for advancement were ridiculously high. It was actually a requirement for the loyalty of 1 million subjects. Zhou Zhou estimated that his total number of subjects had already reached tens of millions or even hundreds of millions if he really met this requirement. Thinking of this, he decided not to think any more about it. This advancement requirement was not something he should be worried about for the time being. He could take things slowly, it would be achieved sooner or later, as long as he, the Lord, was still alive. At that time, he would directly obtain an extraordinary tier Lord Talent. Teacher Zhang, you're too kind. After Zhou Zhou came back to his senses, he helped Zhongli up and smiled. Every dead loyal subject were all people he could nurture. They were his real working team in Zhou Zhou's eyes. Elder Bai. Can we bring Teacher Li Huiwe back to the territory safely with her current conditions? Zhou Zhou asked. Bai Yuejing immediately understood what Zhou Zhou meant. He could only in the territory treat and nourish Li Huiyu's body every day. At the same time, he could obtain the medicinal herbs needed for treatment at any time. Sure. I'll nourish her body now and stabilize the situation in her body. Then, I can bring her back to the territory for treatment. Bai Yuejing said. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he looked at Zhongli. Teacher Zhang, please pack up too. Then come back to Blazing Sun City with us later. This will also make it easier to treat your teacher. He said. Yes, my lord. Li Huiwe immediately agreed respectfully. After that, Zhou Zhou asked Bao Xiu'er to stay to help while he and Wu Xian walked out of the new Wind Tailor shop and walked towards the Adventurer Association. Today, he received news from the Adventurer Association, Haru's, telling him that the Advanced Conqueror's blast furnace had been sent over. Since they had already arrived at Fish Spring Town, they could go over and take a look. A moment later. In the warehouse of the Adventurer Association. Lord of the Blazing Sun. This is the gold-tier advanced grade Conqueror's blast furnace that Haru specially bought from the capital through the connections of the Adventurer Association's higher-ups. This is already the highest level Conqueror's blast furnace that our Adventurer Association can buy. It can extract 10,000 corpses per hour at full power. I hope it can satisfy your needs, my lord. Also, the Adventurer Association's higher-ups greet the esteemed Lord of the Blazing Sun. Haru said respectfully. You're too kind. In the future, I will definitely visit the higher-ups of the adventurers and thank them in person for their help. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he looked at the Conqueror's blast furnace in front of him. This was a conqueror's blast furnace that was 15 to 16 meters tall. There were a total of 6 ladders around it, and 6 lutes assembly lines at the bottom, specially used to give out lutes. Alchemy technology product, Conqueror's blast furnace, grade, yellow gold tier advanced grade, product effect, put a yellow gold tier mist core in the energy slot and activate it with the energy in your body. The Conqueror's blast furnace can begin to retrieve the lutes by burning them. Duration, 24 hours. Product description, an alchemy technology product from the Gnome Kingdom. It is extremely useful when dealing with large numbers of monster corpses. Zhou nodded in satisfaction. This yellow gold tier advanced grade Conqueror's blast furnace not only greatly increased the efficiency of extracting loots every hour, but one yellow gold tier mist core could provide a full 24 hours of work. It was simply incomparable to the previous green bronze tier elementary grade Conqueror's blast furnace. In the future, his army would be able to save a lot of time when extracting loots. I'll buy it. How many mist cores for one? How many do you have in total? Zhou asked. The price of a yellow gold tier advanced grade Conqueror's blast furnace is about 10 yellow gold tier mist cores. I brought a total of 10 yellow gold tier advanced grade Conqueror's blast furnaces from the capital this time. Lord of the Blazing Sun, how many do you want? Haruz asked respectfully. I want them all. Zhou said directly. He took out 100 yellow gold tier mist cores from his spatial ring and handed them to the other party. Haruz clicked his tongue and took the yellow gold tier mist cores with a smile. Then, he eagerly went to take the remaining 9 yellow gold tier advanced grade Conqueror's blast furnaces. A moment later, Zhou obtained 10 yellow gold tier advanced grade Conqueror's blast furnaces. Zhou and Wuxia did not stay any longer after telling Haruz to pay attention to more high-level Conqueror's blast furnaces for him in the future. They left the Adventurer Association hearing Haruz's respectful voice. When the two of them returned to the new Wind Tailor shop, they realized that Elder Bai had stabilized Li Huiyu's situation while Zhongli had also packed up. Seeing this, Zhou did not waste any time. He led everyone out of Fish Spring Town and boarded Nazarios back in the suburbs before returning to Blazing Sun City. They had just returned when Zhou saw an unexpected person. They were Lu Rui and the others from the Starfire mercenary team. At this moment, their strength had already increased greatly, and their equipment had already been changed to be moving on up. Everyone was in high spirits. They were no longer the novice adventurers they had when they first met. Greetings, my lord. After seeing Zhou return, Lu Rui and the others immediately came over and said respectfully. Why are you suddenly back? Zhou nodded and asked. Reporting to my lord, we just found some information about the Sandstorm Forbidden Land, so we specially came to report to you. Lu Rui said respectfully. Let's go back to my residence. Zhou immediately said. Yes. Lu Rui and company nodded and followed Zhou towards the Lord's residence. Chapter 172 Mysterious Force of the Sandstorm Forbidden Land. Maid Sisters. In the living room of the Lord's residence. Zhou, Lu Rui, and Zhang Lanqing were seated. As for the other members of the Starfire mercenary team, they were temporarily assigned to other rooms because there were too many of them. Tell me about the information you obtained about the Sandstorm Forbidden Land. Zhou went straight to the point with Lu Rui. Yes, my lord. Lu Rui said respectfully. We started investigating immediately when we got back. At first, we didn't find anything. Later on, we specially issued a bounty quest to investigate the Sandstorm Forbidden Land in the Adventurer Association. Only then did we know some internal information. The person who provided the information is the nephew of the vice president of our Adventurer Association. He's also a white silver tier elementary grade adventurer now. According to him, the Sandstorm Forbidden Land is not a restricted area. It said that the danger of the Sandstorm Forbidden Land was not so great when the Sandstorm Forbidden Land first appeared a long time ago. The experts of the Adventurer Association and the Kingdom once organized a powerful team and entered the Sandstorm Forbidden Land. The average strength of this team is above the yellow gold tier. At that time, their strength was already the best in the vicinity. In the beginning, this team could still maintain communication with the outside world after entering the Sandstorm Forbidden Land. However, the communication of this team completely disappeared after only a day and night. Only 2 days later did a member of the Adventurer Association escape from the Sandstorm Forbidden Land. This member of the Adventurer Association is the Vice President of the Adventurer Association that I mentioned just now. He told the people at that time that the Sandstorm Forbidden Land was not a no-man's land. In the deepest part of this place is a kingdom of the undead formed by hatred and loneliness. That place is xenophobic and refuses any life form from the outside world to come to them. The others were killed by the undead army there. He only barely survived with the special treasures he brought from the Adventurer Association. Later on, it was said that the people of the kingdom specially sent a stronger team to explore the Sandstorm Forbidden Land after they found out about this. There was even a hero in the team. However, they realized that there was only an endless sandstorm in the Sandstorm Forbidden Land when they arrived. They didn't see the other entrances and undead at all. In the end, this matter could only be left unsettled. It also became one of the unsolved mysteries of the Aurora Kingdom. Lu Rui said. Zhou Zhou frowned slightly. A kingdom of the undead filled with resentment and loneliness? My territory actually borders such a mysterious force. Is the information reliable? Zhou Zhou asked. It should be reliable. There are still missions to retrieve the bones and relics of the ancestors of the Sandstorm Forbidden Land in the Adventurer Association until now. Such missions are classified as extraordinary tier advanced grade quests among all the Adventurer Association missions. Even though no adventurer has completed it yet. But it's still there. It should be because the relatives and friends of the deceased are unwilling, or because the other factions are unwilling to give up the secrets of the Sandstorm Forbidden Land. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. He thought for a while and suddenly had an idea. If this faction really existed and no one else could enter, then could the mysterious caravan with the supreme blessing, unlimited right of passage enter? Zhou Zhou thought about it and felt that he could give it a try. With Zheng Fugui and the others' capabilities, even if they really could not enter, it would definitely not be a problem for them to protect themselves. He came back to his senses and looked at Lu Rui. You guys did well this time. Go and get your military merits from Elder Zheng tomorrow. In addition, he'll give you some rewards as development resources for your Starfire mercenary team as your lord. Zhou Zhou waved his right hand. 500 white silver tier mist cores, 500 soldier type class change certificates, and 500 Sand Corps summoner class change certificates appeared in front of the two of them. Take these rewards and develop yourselves and the Starfire mercenary team well. In the future, if you encounter any valuable information, you can send it to Blazing Sun City. He'll personally take a look at the important information. I will give you more rewards if I think the information is good. You have to increase your strength yourself. Otherwise, I won't be able to give you any good rewards. Zhou Zhou said. Most of Lu Rui and the others were only at the green bronze tier. Giving them the silver tier mist core was already the limit. Otherwise, it would be wasting something on them that they could not use. It was not bad for them to advance to the green bronze tier in such a short period of time, but Zhou Zhou naturally hoped that they would become stronger. When Lu Rui and Zhang Lanqing heard that, they were immediately ashamed and excited. They obtained 500 white silver tier mist cores and a total of 1,000 precious class change certificates with a wave. Zhou Zhou felt restricted when giving them rewards because their strength was too low. How rich must he be to say such a thing? When they heard Zhou Zhou's words, they even felt that he was worried because he did not know how to spend the mist cores in his hand. Zhou Zhou was indeed worried. He had too many mist cores in his hands now. Selling a portion of the gains from the monster ranches every day in his territory could bring him tens of millions of black iron tier mist cores. It made him even richer when coupled with the loots and other gains from the daily battles, under the influence of the perfect loots. Therefore, he wanted to spend some mist core to try everything he saw. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to do anything with the mist cores in his hands. Then why would he keep them? Spending them was the key. However, even though he had a lot of mist cores, he would not spend them recklessly. Being rich and being stupid were two different concepts. After that, Zhou Zhou chatted with the two of them for a while more before asking them to leave. Before he left, he asked the two of them to call Zheng Fugue over. He had already seen the mysterious caravan's carriage return when he returned. Zheng Fugue and the others should have completed today's transaction and returned. A moment later, Zheng Fugue came in front of Zhou Zhou. "Greetings, my lord," he said respectfully. "How was your business today?" Zhou Zhou asked casually. "Everything went well," Zheng Fugue said with a smile. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. That made sense. Who dared to stand in the way of the mysterious caravan? After that, he told Zheng Fugue everything that Lu Rui said. "They'll bring the caravan to the Sandstorm Forbidden Land to explore tomorrow." Zheng Fugue immediately said respectfully. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. "Oh yes. The commercial trade in Sand Gold City is already on the right track. In the future, you can also try to collect some information as your transaction content other than normal transactions," he said. "Yes, my lord," Zheng Fugue said respectfully. He did feel that there were fewer and fewer people looking for them to carry goods for trade in the past 2 days. On one hand, it was because of the rise of Sand Gold City and the appearance of the business path. On the other hand, it was also because other caravans had appeared in the territory and were snatching business from them. These new caravans were formed spontaneously by the subjects of Blazing Sun City and Sand Gold City when they saw the hidden business opportunities on the business path. Zheng Fugue and the others did not care about such a small business to begin with. Now that someone was doing it for them and the Lord had new instructions, they were naturally willing to give up this small cake to them to eat. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. He now had a total of 3 channels of information. The first was naturally Wu Tu's reconnaissance team. The second was Lu Rui's Starfire mercenary team. The third was the mysterious caravan led by Zheng Fugue. Wu Tu was in charge of the basic map information, Lu Rui was in charge of the network information, and Zheng Fugue and the others were in charge of obtaining high-end information. The 3 of them each had their own intelligence field and would almost never clash with each other. Instead, they could complement each other. Now, I've built my basic intelligence network. But it's still in its infancy. It can supplement development in the future. Zhou Zhou thought. After that, Zheng Fugue left the Lord's residence. After a while. "Reporting to my lord. Aliyah and Atli request an audience." The voices of the Catgirl sisters came from outside. "Come in." Zhou Zhou was stunned before saying. Soon, the Catgirl sisters arrived in front of Zhou Zhou. "Reporting to my lord. We're here to serve you," Aliyah said seriously. "Zhou Zhou, their choice of words is very normal, but why did it sound so wrong to me? Could it be that I'm not healthy anymore? There are guest rooms in the mansion. You two find your own rooms." He came back to his senses and said. "Yes, my lord." The Catgirl sisters said respectfully. Aliyah was still relatively calm while Atli was clearly more excited. The two of them went out for a while and returned quickly. "My lord. We've tidied up our room," Atli said excitedly. Zhou Zhou nodded and took a sip of water. He looked up at the two of them and almost vomited the water he had just drunk. "What's wrong with your clothes?" He looked at their clothes and was dumbfounded. At this moment, the Catgirl sisters were actually wearing black and white maid clothes. They wore white headdresses and trembling cat ears and an apron decorated with flounces and a white-collared plain dress. Under the dress were white stockings, coupled with their young and lively appearance and unique Catman race characteristics. They looked cute, delicate, and sexy. Their eyes were blank. This outfit is normal maid work attire. Since we're here to be the Lord's maidservant. Of course we have to wear formal work clothes to look professional. This is what Legion Commander Bai told us. Legion Commander Bai even said that, we have to do our best to satisfy you if you have any other special needs. Aliyah said seriously. Atli also looked at Zhou Zhou curiously. Does my lord have any special needs? She asked expectantly. Zhou Zhou, Bai Yun, what kind of ideas are you instilling in them? Well, not at the moment. Take a seat first. Zhou Zhou was silent for a moment, not knowing what to ask the two of them to do. The two of them sat beside Zhou Zhou. Then, Zhou Zhou felt even more uncomfortable. Damn it. Is this how my evil lord life is going to begin? Reporting to my lord, Wu Tu requests an audience. Wu Tu's voice came from outside at this moment. Let him in. Zhou Zhou immediately said. Yes. Aliyah nodded and walked out of the room. Soon, she brought Wu Tu to Zhou Zhou. The young man looked at the Aliyah sisters in a daze. Then, he looked at Zhou Zhou in admiration and relief. Zhou Zhou, don't misunderstand me. I'm innocent. My lord, I brought new map information. Wu Tu's expression quickly returned back to normal. In his impression, it was normal for a big shot like the lord to have maids serving him. It was already a little late for him to have maids to take care of him. However, it was no big deal. Then, he took out a large map and several small maps from his pocket and handed them to Zhou Zhou respectfully. Zhou Zhou took it and looked at it. Chapter 173 Heavenly Army. Lingers anticipation. Zhou Zhou looked at Wu Tu's large map first. This large map was not much different from the original. However, in the east of the Blackrock Desert and the Silent Wasteland, he had discovered 3 more White Silver-tier regional territories. The remaining map areas were all under the Aurora Kingdom's territory. Zhou Zhou was naturally not interested in that place. Currently, only 1 Black Iron Tier regional territory and 2 Green Bronze Tier regional territories around the Sandstorm Forbidden Land are left. However, these 3 regional territories are all bordered by a natural disaster forbidden area like the Sandstorm Forbidden Land. It's hard to conquer them. Unless Xingfugue and the others can investigate the background of the Sandstorm Forbidden Land. Zhou Zhou frowned slightly. Then, he looked at the map for a few seconds. Finally, his gaze landed on the 3 White Silver-tier regional territories that he had just discovered. It's time to try conquering the White Silver-tier regional territory. Coincidentally, my territory hasn't been upgraded in a long time. Zhou Zhou thought. He looked at the remaining 3 small maps. These 3 small maps were the specific areas of the 3 White Silver-tier regions that had just been explored. Zhou Zhou took a look. The Scarlet Lords who discovered these 3 White Silver-tier territories were all Yellow Gold-tier Scarlet Lords. Now, Nazario is already a White Silver-tier advanced grade. It shouldn't be a problem to deal with a Yellow Gold-tier Scarlet Lord. He thought. As for the monster subjects under the Scarlet Lord, he would recruit some soldiers through the monster ranches the next day. He should be able to deal with them by then. Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou felt a little relieved. He had yet to really face the monsters of a White Silver-tier regional territory, but now, in comparison, the difference in strength did not seem to be too great. Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou put away the maps. Then, he looked at Wu Tuesday. He thought for a few seconds and said to him, Wu Tuesday. You've been with me for a while. I'm prepared to expand the reconnaissance team under your command. Expand the reconnaissance team to the Heavenly Painting Army. It's in charge of exploring unknown territory on the High Continent. At the same time, they'll be the vanguard for the army of Blazing Sun City. He said. Wu Tu's eyes lit up. I won't let you down, my lord. He said excitedly and respectfully. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Tomorrow, go find Bai Yun and ask her to approve 450 soldiers for you. Including your original 50 reconnaissance team, form 500 soldiers of the Heavenly Two Army as the first batch of soldiers. In the future, we need to explore the scope of the conquest. The scale of your Heavenly Two Army will also increase. Yes. One more thing. In the next 2 days, the territory will produce white silver-tier elementary-grade mechanostriders. These mechanostriders will be provided to the Heavenly Army first. Remember to update in time. Zhou Zhou said. Thank you, Lord. Wu Tu became even more excited. The mechanostrider had always been an important tool for them to explore the map. If it could be upgraded, then the efficiency of their Heavenly Two Army's exploration of regional territories would definitely increase greatly in the future. This was naturally important to them. I wonder what a white silver-tier elementary-grade mechanostrider will look like. He was filled with anticipation. Zhou Zhou could tell what Wu Tu was thinking at a glance. He could not help but smile. He wondered what expression he would have when he saw the flying mechanostrider. After that, he chatted with Wu Tu for a while more before Wu Tu bade farewell and left. Seeing this, Zhou Zhou opened the marketplace to check on the purchase of materials for the mechanical flying claw, mechanostrider, and biological prosthesis. In the end, he realized that he had bought a total of 4,540 sets of materials for the Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade Mechanical Flying Claw, 2,101 sets of materials for the White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Mechanostrider, and 1,520 sets of materials for the White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade Biological Prosthesis. A total of 45,400 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores and 22,665 White Silver Tier Mist Cores were spent. After Zhou Zhou received the materials, he went straight to the Gnome Alchemy Workshop and handed them to Ivan Rowley and the other 2 alchemy technicians. I'll leave the task of creating these alchemy technologies to you in the future. If you don't have enough manpower, you can hire some assistants or directly take in some disciples. Zhou Zhou said. Yes, my lord. Ivan Rowley and the other 2 said respectfully. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he returned to the Lord's residence. In the residence, Zhou Zhou thought for a moment and took out 3 territory rebirth tokens. These 3 were automatically sent to each lord by the supreme will when the Lord battlefield first opened. Because he had won all 3 battles and directly reached the green bronze tier elementary grade lord rank, these 3 territory rebirth tokens were not used at all. Zhou Zhou had just taken out the 3 Black Iron Tier territory rebirth tokens. A text notification immediately appeared. You have been promoted to the Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Lord. You have the chance to upgrade the unused Black Iron Tier territory rebirth token to the Green Bronze Tier territory rebirth token for free. Do you want to upgrade it immediately? Can it even do that? Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. He thought that these 3 Black Iron Tier territory rebirth tokens were useless. It turned out that he could upgrade them for free. Then when I advance to the White Silver Tier Lord rank or even the Yellow Gold Tier Lord rank, will these low-level territory rebirth tokens also advance? Zhou Zhou asked tentatively. As soon as he finished speaking, the text notification appeared again. Lord Battlefield hint. Every time a Lord's Lord battlefield level increases, the low-level territory rebirth token and resurrection token that were not used before will have a chance to be upgraded for free. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. If he won more battles than he lost, wouldn't he be able to freeload a batch of high-level territory rebirth tokens and territory resurrection tokens in the end? In that case, when I have extra territory tokens, I can use them to exchange for these territory rebirth tokens and resurrection tokens. Then keep them for free upgrades. Zhou Zhou thought. Then, he put away the territory resurrection tokens. Is there anything I haven't done? Zhou Zhou began to think. Soon. He remembered. Zhou Zhou opened his friend list and opened Linger's chat. Then, he sent the treasure information of the Master Servant territory contract and finally began to type, Lord of the Blazing Sun, Linger, are you willing to sign this Master Servant territory contract with me? Spiritual Medicine City. Linger looked at the information of the Master Servant territory contract and her gaze quickly landed on the content of the treasure effect too. A spatial teleportation array will appear in both territories. Then I will be able to look for my brother. Linger's eyes lit up. When she saw Zhou Zhou's question, she agreed without hesitation. As for the master and servant, Linger did not care at all. She had never had the heart to fight for supremacy. Naturally, she did not care about this arrangement. This could be seen from the fact that she had the legendary tier Lord talent but only wanted to provide Zhou Zhou with herbs. In the Blazing Sun City, Zhou Zhou could not help but smile when he saw Linger's answer. Chapter 174 Signing the Master Servant Contract. Conditions to build a kingdom. Zhou Zhou sighed. Linger agreed so quickly that it was beyond his expectations. But it had to be said. He liked the feeling of being trusted and entrusted. Lord of the Blazing Sun, what level is your territory at now? Spiritual Medicine Lord, Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. Originally, I planned to advance to a Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade territory after collecting enough territory tokens. Now, it seems like it's just right. Hee hee. Lord of the Blazing Sun, okay, I'll use the contract later. Spiritual Medicine Lord, Big Brother, if the spatial teleportation array appears, can I look for you tomorrow? Lord of the Blazing Sun, sure, you're my little sister. You can come over anytime, even now. Spiritual Medicine Lord, yes, yes. Spiritual Medicine Lord, it's a little late today. I'll disturb your rest if I go. Lord of the Blazing Sun, it's all right. The two of them chatted for a while. Then, Zhou Zhou took out the Master Servant territory contract. A text notification appeared. Do you want to use it? Yes. Zhou Zhou said in a low voice. Please choose the Lord you want to sign the Master Servant territory contract with. Spiritual Medicine City's Spiritual Medicine Lord. Request has been sent to the Spiritual Medicine City Spiritual Medicine Lord to sign the Master Servant territory contract. Please wait patiently. Zhou Zhou waited. Soon. The text notification appeared again. Spiritual Medicine City, the Spiritual Medicine Lord has agreed to your Master Servant territory contract request and has officially become your subordinate territory. You have activated the Special Territory Information column, Subordinate Territory column. A new subordinate territory has been added to your subordinate territory column, Spiritual Medicine City. You have the sovereignty of Spiritual Medicine City. The Lord of Spiritual Medicine City and her subjects cannot go against your orders as the Lord of the main territory. At the same time, as the Lord of the main territory, you have to bear the responsibility of protecting your subordinate territory. Your territory has added a special building, Spatial Teleportation Array, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. You can choose to share the effect of your Lord talent with your subordinate territory. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. At this moment, Linger sent another message. Spiritual Medicine Lord, brother, I'll get someone to find the Spatial Teleportation Array now. I'll go see you tomorrow. Lord of the Blazing Sun, all right. Then, the two of them chatted for a while more. After agreeing to the timing tomorrow, they bade each other good night and went offline. After that, Zhou Zhou asked Aaliyah to get someone to find the location of the spatial teleportation array in the territory. A moment later. My lord. I found the spatial teleportation array. Aaliyah said respectfully when she returned. Let's go take a look. Zhou Zhou stood up and said. Aaliyah nodded respectfully and led Zhou Zhou out of the Lord's residence. After walking for more than 10 minutes, they arrived near the city gate. They had just arrived when Zhou Zhou saw a white array that emitted a distorted space covering the ground. This array was a total of 30,000 to 40,000 square meters. It was about the size of a football field. It was engraved with a large number of complicated and strange patterns. Beside it were some patrolling guards. They were the ones who had found this spatial teleportation array. My lord. This should be the spatial teleportation array you mentioned. Aaliyah said. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he walked over. Greetings, my lord. Seeing Zhou Zhou come over, these soldiers who were in charge of guarding the spatial teleportation array and not letting others approach immediately said respectfully. Good work. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he looked at the array. Soon. Its detailed information appeared in front of him. Formation name, Spatial Teleportation Array, Master, Formation Level, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade, Formation Effect 1. Put 10 white silver tier mist cores on the spatial teleportation and you can teleport up to 1,000 living units and 1,000 units of supplies to the other lords who have signed the Master-Servant Territory contract. Formation Effect 2, as the spatial teleportation array of the main territory, you can unilaterally open and close this spatial teleportation array, Master. You can also control the opening and closing of the spatial teleportation array in the subordinate territory from afar. Formation Upgrade Requirement, upgrade as the territory upgrades. Formation Description, an exclusive formation created by the Master-Servant Territory contract. It can only be used in the 2 territories that have signed the Master-Servant Territory contract. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. This array formation was not bad. This way, if anything happened to Linger in the future, he could rush over to help immediately. At the same time, Linger would not have to personally handle the medicinal herbs she sent him in the future. She could just hand them over to the professionals in both territories and do it face to face through the spatial teleportation array. After that, Zhou Zhou did not stay any longer and returned to the Lord's residence to rest. As for sharing the Lord's talent, he would wait for Linger to come. Zhou Zhou was naturally not stingy in this aspect. He and Linger had already signed a master-slave territory contract after all. From a certain perspective, Linger's legendary tier lord talent, the Divine Herb Garden, already belonged to him. The next morning, Zhou Zhou woke up early. Then, 2 rows of text immediately appeared in front of him. You have automatically obtained 1 ranking. Automatically increases by 1 every day, current remaining rankings, 22. Zhou Zhou took a look and retracted his gaze. He opened the world channel and took a look. Many lords were also chatting. I can finally rank again. God bless me, let me return to Black Iron tier from -1. Is anyone willing to form a team? I have many doctors in my territory and need a strong brother. There are many beauties in this pretty girl's territory. I guarantee that you won't be disappointed as long as you're strong. Can I watch? Shy, I have more long-range soldiers in my territory. A lord with strong offensive, let's form a team. Professional substitute leveling. You will definitely be able to win. Are you still worried about not being able to rank? Are you still anxious about your future as a lord? We are not asking for 1,998 or 998, just 500 Black Iron tier mist cores, and you can bring home the Lord rank +1. You can even get a 20% discount if you buy it many times. The corners of Zhou Zhou's mouth twitched. It had only been 2 days. Why did even substitute leveling appear? It could also be seen that no one was willing to fight alone now. Teaming up had become the choice of many lords. I wonder how points are counted if you team up during the ranking competitions. Zhou Zhou was a little curious. However, he did not think too much about it. He would know when he and Linger teamed up. After that, he got up. Just as he walked out of the room, he saw the Aliyah sisters holding a set of clean clothes. "Good morning, my lord," X2 Aliyah said respectfully. Atli was more excited. After the two of them finished speaking, they carried the clothes to him. "My lord, we've already prepared your toiletries and clothes. Let us change the lord's clothes first." They were about to move. Zhou Zhou hurriedly stopped them. "No need, no need. I'd better do this myself," he said. "My lord, I know you might not be used to such a life. But it's okay. Just take it slow. Big shots are like that." Aliyah said seriously. "How am I a big shot?" Zhou Zhou muttered. He was only a lord who had just left the novice village. What kind of big shot was he? Aliyah and the others did not think so. Then, under their insistence, Zhou Zhou had no choice but to put on his clothes and wash up with their help. What an evil lord's life. After walking out of the lord's residence, he looked at the inseparable catgirl maids behind him. Zhou Zhou sighed again. Then, he was about to walk towards the gate of summoning and prepare to summon his subjects today when he saw Liya and her maid, Yu Qiao, standing not far away and smiling at him. "Good morning, my lord." Liya smiled. "Good morning." Zhou Zhou was a little embarrassed. Then, he went to a serious topic. He looked at the two of them and said, "Are the two of you returning to the Aurora Kingdom?" "Emicham. The Diamond Tier Elementary Aurora Tower is very important. I have to go back and report it to my father as soon as possible. However, well, go and return quickly through the spatial teleportation array this time. Perhaps we'll be able to meet the Lord again tonight." Liya smiled. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. He was not surprised that the other party also had a spatial teleportation array. It would be strange if a dignified kingdom did not even master the technology to build spatial teleportation arrays. At this moment, Liya walked over, within a few steps away from Zhou Zhou. "My lord. Do you know how a lord builds a kingdom?" she asked seriously. Chapter 175 3 Conditions. White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Archaeologist. "I don't know." Zhou Zhou was stunned for a moment before shaking his head. "There are 3 conditions to build a kingdom. And you can only build a kingdom after all 3 conditions are met." Liya raised her finger. "The first and most important condition is to have an extraordinary tier advance grade treasure, kingdom token. The kingdom token is an indispensable item for building a kingdom. It's like a territory token to a territory. It's the most important foundation of a kingdom. The second condition is, the Lord has at least 30 regional territories, and at least one of them has to be an extraordinary tier regional territory to be the capital of the kingdom. The third condition is for there to be at least 3 heroes in the kingdom who can protect the kingdom. Not only does the minimum requirement for these 3 heroes be extraordinary tier heroes, but there must be at least 1 hero among them who belongs to the Lord's own race. As long as the Lord fulfills these 3 conditions you can build your own kingdom," Liya said solemnly. Zhou Zhou's body trembled. He suddenly felt enlightened. Liya's words directly pointed out the direction of his future lord path. Then, he frowned. He could not fulfill any of these 3 requests now. He had never heard of the extraordinary tier advance grade treasure, kingdom token. To have 30 regional territories and for one of which was an extraordinary tier regional territory. He was even further on this front. He only had 3 black iron tier regional territories and 2 green bronze tier regional territories in total. He was already feeling the difficulty of conquering a white silver tier regional territory. Not to mention an extraordinary tier 1. He was the closest to fulfilling the third condition currently. 3 heroes with the lowest fate level of extraordinary tier heroes. Moreover, there was at least 1 hero from the same race as the Lord. Zhou Zhou now had Bai Yi and Wuxia. Of these 2, one of them had an epic tier hero's fate level while the other had an extraordinary tier hero's fate level. Moreover, they were all humans. He could satisfy the third condition as long as he could have another extraordinary tier hero. It's still a little far away, but at least there's a direction to work towards. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. Then, he looked at Liya. Thank you, Your Highness, for telling me the conditions for establishing the kingdom. These things are important to me. Zhou Zhou said seriously. It's not a big secret. My lord will find out sooner or later with your ability. Liya smiled. Zhou Zhou smiled and said nothing. After that, the 2 of them chatted for a while before Liya suggested that they set off. When Zhou Zhou heard this, he sent him to the city gate. My lord, send them here. I'll see you soon. Liya said. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Liya nodded and left with her maid, Wuxia. After walking for a while. Your Highness. Not far ahead is the one-time spatial teleportation array we just set up. You can directly go to the capital through that spatial teleportation array or return at any time. Don't worry, we'll protect this spatial teleportation array. A low voice suddenly sounded in Liya's ear. Liya did not say anything and only nodded lightly. An invisible might spread out as she exuded the noble aura of a princess at that moment. Your Highness. Is it good to tell him the conditions to build a kingdom so early? Wouldn't it make him bite off more than he can chew? Yu Qiao could not help but ask. When a person's vision is limited to a small territory, his future achievements will only be limited to a small territory. When a person sets his sights on the entire world, his future achievements won't be too small even if he can't dominate the entire world. It's fine to give this lord some ambitious goals. Maybe he'll surprise us in the future. Liya smiled. While she knew that the goal she had set for the other party was a little too far. However, when she thought of Zhou Zhou's ordinary actions and the achievements he already had, Liya had a feeling. This person would eventually become extraordinary in the future. She shook her head and stopped thinking about it. Liya and the maid, Yu Qiao, quickly arrived at the spatial teleportation array. Then, they disappeared in a spatial fluctuation. The surroundings fell silent. Gazes from the dark would shoot over and observe their surroundings vigilantly from time to time. Then, they calmed down. In Blazing Sun City. After Zhou Zhou returned, he went straight to the gate of summoning. A text notification appeared. Prompt, do you want to summon immediately? Yes. Zhou Zhou said. The next second. The gate of summoning suddenly lit up with a bright white light, and new subjects walked out one after another. A moment later. All 189 new subjects walked out of the gate of summoning. Greetings, my lord, X-189. The 189 new subjects said respectfully. From today onwards, you are the subjects of Blazing Sun City. Zhou Zhou said. Then, he asked all the professionals to stand up and realized that he had summoned a total of 18 military professionals this time. Zhou Zhou checked their interface information. A moment later. The inspection was completed. Among these 18 military professionals, there was a white silver tier elementary grade chef, a white silver tier elementary grade archaeologist, and a white silver tier elementary grade archer. In addition, there was one green bronze tier advanced grade farmer, 2 green bronze tier intermediate grade carpenters, 2 green bronze tier elementary grade doctors, 2 black iron tier advanced grade pharmacists, 3 black iron tier intermediate grade sword shield soldiers, 3 black iron tier elementary grade cartographers, and 5 black iron tier elementary grade chefs. Archaeologist? Zhou Zhou's eyebrows twitched. This was the first time he got to know about this profession. He looked at him. The other party was an old man in his 70s or 80s. His hair and beard were all white, but he was hale and hearty. His eyes were bright, and he did not look like an old man at all. Zhou Zhou curiously opened the other party's attribute panel. Subject, Gu Bo, Territory, Blazing Sun City, Life Profession, Archaeologist, Profession Class, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade, Ability Overview, Dr. Gu Bo, who grew up listening to the wild history of the gods from the Chaos Era, had long determined to devote himself to the archaeology industry. After growing up and learning many archaeological skills, he mastered a lot of archaeology knowledge. He once joined the Time Society, but later on, he automatically resigned from the Time Society because he was old and weak. Skills, Talent, Eye of Time, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Mysterious History, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Netherworld History, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Heaven Realm History, Secrets Beyond the White Silver Tier Elementary Grade World, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Mysterious Event History, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Archaeological Practice, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Ancient Netherworld Empire Language, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Original Elf Language, White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Sand Emperor Language, Loyalty, 85, Potential, White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. He opened all of the other party's skills column. In the end, he realized that there were more than 200 skills. They were all archaeological related. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue. This old man's skill panel was so luxurious. It was even more ridiculous than Bai Yi, Wu Xian, and Zhao Changsha's skill reserves. Is this really a subject that the Gate of Summoning could summon? If one did not look at his professional class, Zhou Zhou would have even suspected that this was a talent attracted by the reputation rating. Chapter 176 Talent, Eye of Time. Soldier Advancement. Zhou Zhou looked at his skill list. Talent, Eye of Time. What talent is this? Zhou Zhou opened the specific information of this talent curiously. Talent, Eye of Time. Creatures with this talent have a special ability given to them by the River of Time. There is a certain chance of seeing some traces of time left on ancient things when observing them. My good lord, this can no longer be called talent. This must be a superpower, right? Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue. He had many talented subjects under his command. For example, Wu Tu's photographic memories, Carter Kim's metal affinity. These innate abilities were at least within the range of common sense that normal people could understand. However, just looking at the contents of Gu Bo's talent was unbelievable. He felt that his talent was at least a few levels higher than the others. In the end, Zhou Zhou could only sigh. The world was so big that there were all kinds of strange things. Then, he looked at the other skills. In the end, he unexpectedly saw the skill, White Platinum Tier Elementary Grade Sand Emperor Language. Dr. Gu, what's the relationship between the Sand Emperor and the Emperor of Sand? Zhou Zhou was stunned for a moment before immediately asking. Gu Bo was stunned. Then, he explained, the Sand Emperor language is the official language of the Sand Empire. The Emperor of Sand was the only emperor of the Sand Empire. Can you tell me about the Sand Empire and the Emperor of Sand later? Zhou Zhou said in surprise. He had finally found someone who knew about the Emperor of Sand. My lord, you don't have to be so polite. Of course you can. It's my honor to serve my lord. Gu Bo smiled. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he called Zheng Yuanqi over and asked him to arrange where these people would go. After which, he walked to the side with Gu Bo and began to listen to him. The Emperor of Sand existed more than 8,000 years ago. In that era, it led the Sandman tribe and rose from the weak within a very short period of time. In less than 800 years, it developed into a famous empire on the high continent. Unfortunately, it only existed for a very short period of time. In less than 300 years, the Sand Empire was destroyed because it seemed like it had angered the gods. Otherwise, perhaps the land under our feet will still be the territory of the Sand Empire. After the fall of the Sand Empire, our land experienced 4 more kingdoms. The last kingdom is the Aurora Kingdom, which is now bordering the Lord's territory. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. According to what he understood from the Emperor of Sand's spatial ring, the Emperor of Sand fell with its empire because he wanted to replace the sun. It was in line with what Dr. Gu had said from the looks of it. He suddenly felt tempted. Did that mean that the inheritance of the Emperor of Sand that he had always wanted was actually the inheritance of an empire's monarch? Moreover, he already had some clues. I must continue searching for this inheritance of the Emperor of Sand. Zhou Zhou immediately thought with excitement. This was the inheritance of the Emperor of an empire. It was not inferior to a legendary tier lord talent. He naturally would not let it go so easily. After that, he called all the soldiers and spent more than half an hour cleaning up the time ruins and the monster ranch. Then, he took out the yellow gold tier advanced grade Conqueror blast furnace he had obtained yesterday and placed a yellow gold tier mist core on the energy slot. Finally, he used the energy in his body to activate this alchemy technology product. Then, the soldiers began to transport the corpses to the Conqueror's blast furnace and retrieve the loot. Half an hour later, all the loots had been extracted. Under the effect of the perfect loots, other than the +1 quality monster flesh, skill books, potion formulas, poison sacks, black scorpion poison crossbow, flame demon fog wolf set, and other items, he obtained a total of 41,251 green bronze tier mist cores, 14,275 white silver tier mist cores, and 1,614 yellow gold tier mist cores. 6,388 class change certificates. 2,145 Sand Corps Summoner class change certificates. 1,128 Sword Shield Soldier recruitment books. 1,002 Pudeo Soldiers recruitment books. 958 Poison Crossbow Soldier recruitment books. 384 Elemental Archer recruitment books. 5,021 kilograms of light drawing crystal. Zhou Zhou asked Dahlia to call Zhao Changshu over and handed the light drawing crystal to Zhao Changshu and the others. Elder Zhao. Starting today, the city wall of Blazing Sun City has to be expanded every time the territory upgrades. We're fighting the foreign race lords every day now. The city walls are the most important part of the city's defense. It must be strengthened in time. Zhou Zhou said. He had yet to encounter a foreign race lord who could attack his city wall, but there was no harm in making early preparations. Yes. From today onwards, I will recruit people and begin to expand the city wall. However, my lord, recently, we have been a little lacking in the basic materials in the city. We need to replenish. Zhao Changshu said respectfully. Leave it to me. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. He had indeed not bought basic materials in the exchange for a long time. During this period of time, the basic materials used were all from the previous stock, be it for building buildings or other matters in his territory. It was indeed time to buy another batch of basic materials. Actually, he could also send people to buy basic materials in reality instead of buying them in the exchange. However, the price of basic materials in reality was higher than the exchange. Secondly, it was inconvenient to buy them. Moreover, they had to transport them back and forth and waste time. Therefore, Zhou Zhou had never thought of doing so. After that, he opened the exchange and looked at the price of the basic materials. He realized that one black iron tier mist core could be exchanged for 50 units of basic materials. The price is acceptable. Then he'll buy more at once. Zhou Zhou thought for a moment. The basic materials needed to build the city wall were quite large. If he brought more, he would not need to buy it again in a short period of time. Then, he began to set up a deal. Trade name, deal with the Blazing Sun Lord, trade goods, 8 million black iron tier mist cores, trade requirement, trade 1 black iron tier mist core for every 50 units of basic materials. The setup was completed and he published the transaction. Then, he set up a new transaction. He threw in all the soldier class change certificates he had just obtained, as well as excess materials, skill books, equipment, and other items. Then, he directly announced the transaction. A moment later, the purchase of materials was completed first. Zhou Zhou looked at the transaction results. Trade results: 100 million units of stone, 100 million units of wood, 100 million units of metal, 100 million units of fine sand. Zhou Zhou nodded. Then, he brought Zhao Changshou to an empty space and took out all 400 million units of basic materials and piled them into 4 small mountains of basic materials that were more than 20 meters tall. These basic materials should be enough for the time being, right? Zhou Zhou smiled. It's indeed enough. Zhao Changshou clicked his tongue as he looked at the 4 small mountains. He had seen the same scene before when he was in the Aurora Kingdom. However, he had not seen many scenes like the Lord's where he could wave his hand and create 4 small mountains of basic materials. At this moment, Bai Yun walked over after counting the number of soldiers who had advanced. I've something to report, my lord. A total of 5,132 people advanced just now. 3,125 of them have been promoted to Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade and Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. 1,941 people advanced from Black Iron Tier to Green Bronze Tier. Another 72 people have advanced to the White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. There are a total of 12,122 Black Iron Tier soldiers in our army. 2,583 Green Bronze Tier soldiers. 98 White Silver Tier. In addition, I've already broken through to the White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Maris has also broken through to Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade. Bai Yun said respectfully. Zhou Zhou could not help but click his tongue. Chapter 177 Divine Herb Garden. Sharing Talents. Zhou Zhou sighed. Yesterday, only 1,164 people had broken through. Today, it directly increased to 5,132 breakthroughs. While this was because the number of military professionals had increased by more than 3,000, the credit for this was naturally mainly because of the blessing of the 10 gods. The blessing of the war god had advanced from Green Bronze Tier to White Silver Tier. This talent directly increased the promotion energy obtained by the soldiers by 5 times when they killed each monster after all. Then, he sensed Nazario's situation and realized that it was not far from the Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade. It would probably be able to break through after killing another 12,000 monsters. As for himself, he was about to break through to the White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade. I have to upgrade this Lord talent in the future. Zhou Zhou was even more certain of his choice. As for Insight Defection, I'm sorry, I'm afraid that the blessing of the war god will misunderstand. At this moment, a line of text appeared in front of him, telling him that his deal was complete. Zhou Zhou opened the marketplace and looked at the transaction results. Trade result, 18,649,982 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores. More and more mist cores are being spent. Zhou Zhou sighed. After that, he went to the golem lair as usual and summoned 126 golems, and then, he went to the gate of summoning and threw in all the recruitment books he had just obtained. Soon, recruits walked out of the gate of summoning one after another and stood neatly behind him. A moment later, 1,128 sword-shield soldiers, 1,002 Pudeo soldiers, 958 poison crossbow soldiers, 384 elemental archers, and 12 elemental bowmen appeared behind him. I have a total of 20,864 soldiers under my command now, including the newly recruited golems. Zhou Zhou was very satisfied. He had finally had 20,000 military professionals. Then, he let the soldiers rest for a while and prepare for the upcoming Lord Battlefield battle. A moment later, a new message appeared in his friend list. Zhou Zhou opened it. It was Linger. Spiritual Medicine Lord, Big Brother, can I come over now? Lord of the Blazing Sun, come over. Spiritual Medicine Lord, okay. Seeing this, Zhou Zhou walked towards the spatial teleportation array with Bai Yi and the Aliyah cat girl sisters. He saw a little girl in a white dress and a female military professional standing together when they arrived at the spatial teleportation array. Linger. Zhou Zhou came in front of her and smiled. Big Brother. Linger looked at Zhou Zhou, and her eyes lit up. Big Brother, you're so handsome. Her eyes lit up. And this is? Zhou Zhou smiled and looked at the female soldier beside her. Her name is Feng Xiaoye. She's the most powerful person in our spiritual medicine city. She currently commands all the military professionals in our spiritual medicine city. Sister Feng didn't walk out of the gate of summoning. She escaped from the war elsewhere and joined my territory because she encountered it. Linger giggled. Clearly, she was very proud to be able to receive a subject like Feng Xiaoye. Greetings, my lord. Feng Xiaoye said respectfully. She was secretly shocked. The three people beside this lord gave her a very powerful feeling no matter who they were. Especially the female general in red armor with a blood-red bow on her back. It gave her a sense of oppression as if she was meeting an extraordinary tier creature. Who is she? Why do I feel so much pressure? She thought in shock. Originally, she thought that she was already very powerful at this age. However, she suddenly lost all her arrogance now that she looked at the female general in front of her. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. He also looked at her interface information. As the other party was a subject of his subordinate territory, he, the lord of the main territory, could also see her interface information directly. Then he saw that she was actually in white silver tier elementary grade spearman. Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. With Linger's territory level, she was indeed quite lucky to be able to recruit such a military professional. Big Brother, are we going to rank now? I've already asked the soldiers to prepare in the territory. They can enter the ranked competition at any time. Linger said. There's no hurry. I want to take a look at your divine herb garden first. I've been curious about it for a long time. Zhou Zhou smiled. Okay. Then should we go take a look now? Linger asked. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Linger did not say anything else when she saw this. Then, everyone arrived at the spatial teleportation array. Then, Zhou Zhou filled 10 white silver tier mist cores into the medium-sized slot of the array formation. With a thought. A text notification appeared. Do you want to consume 0.3% of the array's energy to head to the subordinate territory, Spiritual Medicine City? Yes. Zhou Zhou thought to himself. The next second. A spatial fluctuation visible to the naked eye appeared on the array. Then, everyone's bodies twisted for a second before they disappeared collectively. As for the 10 white silver tier mist cores, they only dimmed slightly. Spiritual Medicine City. Spatial teleportation array. A spatial distortion appeared. Then, Zhou Zhou, Linger, and the others appeared out of thin air on the array formation. Big Brother, we've arrived at the Spiritual Medicine City. Linger said. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. He looked around. The buildings here were similar to his Blazing Sun City. However, it was much smaller in terms of scale and quantity. Especially the wall. The wall of the spiritual medicine city was only 7 to 8 meters tall. It was far inferior to the light elemental city wall of Blazing Sun City. In the future, he had to let Linger pay more attention to the construction of the city defense. Zhou Zhou thought. However, he had to say this in private. It would save Linger from losing face in front of her subordinates. Then, he did not say anything and followed Linger to where her soldiers were. There were already more than 1,500 military professionals in the spiritual medicine city. It was far inferior to the number of military professionals in Zhou Zhou's territory, but it was already not bad among the human lords of the cerulean planet. In the end, they came to the Divine Herb Garden. Big brother. This is the Divine Herb Garden. Linger introduced the building in front of her. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly as he looked at the building in front of him. This was a building that looked very much like a church. It was completely wholly white, and the surface of the building was engraved with a large number of statues of God spirits. Right above them was a black sun. A black sun? Zhou Zhou was stunned. It seems to be a divine symbol that gives the Divine Herb Garden special abilities. I'm not too sure either. The Lord Talent didn't introduce this. Linger did not understand either. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. The one who gave the medicine life is actually the God spirit of the Black Sun. He didn't think too much about it. Then, he followed Linger into the Divine Herb Garden. Zhou Zhou could smell the strong fragrance of medicinal herbs and some special smells as soon as he entered. These smells seemed to be the source of life. After taking a breath or two, Zhou Zhou felt his spirit rejuvenate, as if he had endless energy to vent. Then, he saw all kinds of medicinal herbs planted in the medicinal field. There were so many of them and had no end to it at a glance. There were medicinal herbs to make the life potion, energy potion, blood eye potion, and potential advancement potion. There were all kinds of familiar medicinal herbs. Zhou Zhou was very familiar with most of the herbs. This was because he had asked Linger to nurture them. Zhou Zhou had never seen the remaining medicinal herbs before. They should have been nurtured by Linger. How big is this Divine Herb Garden? Zhou Zhou asked curiously. It was only 50 acres at first. After my territory was upgraded to Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. It's 200 acres now. Linger said obediently. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue. The area could be expanded. It had an area of 200 acres when it's only at Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. Then what would happen in the future? As expected of a legendary tier Lord Talent. In the past, he had thought that even though Linger's legendary tier Divine Herb Garden was very strong, it should not be comparable to his 100% drop rate. However, looking at the increase in the area, Zhou Zhou suddenly felt that it was really not certain whose Lord Talent was stronger when these two talents were put together. It was naturally incomparable now. After all, his Lord Talent had already advanced to the mythical tier. Zhou Zhou was both surprised and happy upon seeing it. In the future, his territory could also directly enjoy the legendary tier Lord Talent of the Divine Herb Garden. While this talent still belonged to Linger, it was no different from being his. Then, Zhou Zhou looked at Linger and thought about which Lord Talent he should share with her. This was because he could only share one Lord Talent. So he had to think carefully about it. A moment later, Zhou Zhou decided to share the white-silver tier blessing of the 10 gods, the blessing of the war god, with Linger. This Lord Talent was relatively low level, but it was the talent that could directly increase the strength of the territory. With it, Linger would also have the strength to protect her Divine Herb Garden and could also walk further on the path of a lord. Zhou Zhou could also send people to protect her in her territory, but it was better to teach someone to fish than to give them the fishes. Zhou Zhou still felt that it was better to let Linger grow up on her own. Moreover, he would continue to upgrade this talent in the future. Therefore, he did not think he was treating Linger badly. On the other side, Linger was still immersed in the joy of being with Zhou Zhou. She still felt like she was in a dream. At this moment, a line of golden text appeared in front of her. The Lord of the main territory has shared a white silver tier Lord talent, blessing of the 10 gods, blessing of the war god with you. You can check the specific information of this Lord talent. Linger was immediately stunned. Chapter 178 Begin Formation. Old opponent. We can actually share Lord talents. Linger's mouth widened slightly. Her mouth opened even wider when she opened the shared Lord talent and saw the specific ability of the Lord talent. The first thought that immediately appeared in her mind. What a powerful Lord talent. Her second thought was, is this why my big brother is so strong? Do you see the shared Lord talent? Zhou Zhou asked when he saw her expression. Yes, I saw it. Big brother. What a coincidence. This Lord talent is what my territory needs the most. Linger said happily. She might be young, but it did not mean that she did not understand the development of the territory. Linger knew very well that even though she had a huge advantage in accelerating the cultivation of medicinal herbs, at the same time her territory's shortcoming in combat strength was also very obvious. Her territory's strength was already considered not bad among the many human lords of the Cerulean planet since she had been recruiting refugees from other places, coupled with the soldier-type class change certificate she obtained from Zhou Zhou. However, this was not enough to protect her legendary tier Lord talent. A slightly stronger lord might be able to take down her territory. Her territory's combat strength would develop rapidly in the future with the Lord talent shared by Zhou Zhou. While it could not compare to Lord talents with top-notch combat strength, it was enough to protect her territory at least, as long as she did not take the initiative to provoke them. Therefore, she was very surprised. This is nothing compared to your legendary tier Lord talent. But don't worry. This Lord talent will become stronger in the future. Zhou Zhou smiled mysteriously. Linger blinked. She did not quite understand what Zhou Zhou meant. Why would the Lord talent become stronger? However, she obediently did not ask further, seeing that Zhou Zhou did not seem to want to explain. After that, Zhou Zhou and Linger returned to Blazing Sun City. Then, he invited Linger to start ranking together. Just as he clicked on the ranking, a line of text appeared. Lord Battlefield hint, due to the current stage, the level of the Lord's territory is generally low, so you can't obtain higher level territory tokens. In order to facilitate the completion of the basic objective of the event, exchange for goods from a higher level battlefield shop, all lords above the green bronze tier do not need to use the territory token to exchange for goods in the battlefield shop. Instead, they can use battlefield points to exchange for them. Battlefield points can be obtained by selling any level of territory token or defeating your opponent in the ranking of the lords. Your battlefield shop has been updated. Zhou Zhou was stunned. Then, he understood and nodded slightly. This could indeed help them exchange for goods from the advanced battlefield shop easier. He opened the battlefield shop and looked at it. 100 designated Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Military Professionals, remaining purchases, 10, price, 5 battlefield points, 10 designated Green Bronze Tier Basic Lifestyle Professionals, remaining purchases, 10, price, 5 battlefield points, 3, Green Bronze Tier Resurrection Token, exclusive to the Lord Battlefield, remaining purchases, 10, price, 5 battlefield points, 4. Green Bronze Tier Territory Rebirth Token, exclusive to the Lord Battlefield, remaining purchases, 10, price, 15 battlefield points, 5, Bronze Tier +1, remaining purchases, 1, price, 25 battlefield points, 6, Gate of Summoning Reset Card, remaining purchases, 10, price, 1 battlefield point, Seeing this, Zhou Zhou exchanged the remaining 2 green bronze tier territory tokens and 3 black iron tier territory tokens with his battlefield points. 1 black iron tier territory token gave him 1 battlefield point, and 1 green bronze tier territory token could obtain 5 battlefield points. After selling them all, he obtained a total of 13 battlefield points. Then, he clicked on the match and began to rank. A text notification appeared. Matching with your ranking opponent, match successful. Entering the battlefield. The next second, Zhou Zhou and Linger's bodies suddenly turned illusory before quickly disappearing. They found themselves on an ancient battlefield when they could see their surroundings clearly again. There were many corpses from various races on this battlefield. They seemed to have been dead for a long time. Even though there were many corpses on the battlefield, there was only a faint smell of decay. At this moment, Zhou Zhou was standing on the city wall and looking into the distance. He saw 2 almost identical blood-colored castles to the east and southeast of him. However, one occupied a larger area while the other was smaller. At this moment, a text notification appeared. You have entered the green bronze tier elementary grade battlefield. You and your opponent have been randomly assigned to the green bronze tier elementary grade battlefield, Plains of Death. Your opponents are 1. Vampire Lord, Lord Anderson, green bronze tier elementary grade. 2. Vampire Lord, Lord Turner, black iron tier intermediate grade. Condition to defeat the enemy, kill all the enemy forces within 24 hours. If you exceed the time limit, both sides will be judged to have negative battle results. Ranking -1. You have 10 minutes to deploy your forces. Countdown, 9 minutes, 59 seconds, Special Hint 1, since you have chosen to party up, you have been assigned a Lord team that has the same number of people as your team. Special Hint 2, you will obtain as many battlefield points as you kill the enemy Lord in a party up. Special Hint 3, you and your Lord teammates can communicate telepathically on the Lord battlefield regardless of distance. Vampire Lords. Old rivals. Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. Then, he could not help but raise his eyebrows when he saw Special Hint 2. Wouldn't that mean that he could obtain more battlefield points than in a solo match? Then he and Linger were really the right team. No, there should be another person, since a group could at most rank 3 people together. In a 3v3 ranking, each of them could obtain more battlefield points as long as they won. He thought for a moment, but he did not expect anyone to join in. Suddenly, Big Brother, can you hear me? Linger's uneasy voice sounded in his mind. I can hear you. Zhou Zhou immediately replied in his mind. Big Brother, it's good that you're here. Linger's tone instantly relaxed hearing Zhou Zhou's reply. Zhou Zhou looked around. Soon, he saw the spiritual medicine city in the distance on the left. Big Brother, the other party is a vampire lord. What should we do next? Big Brother, tell me. I'll listen to you. Linger said. She had already thought about it before coming. Her main purpose for this ranking was to listen to Zhou Zhou's command the entire time and not cause trouble. Leave the troops guarding the city and deploy the remaining military professionals. After the battle begins, just get your military professionals to follow behind my Blazing Sun army and kill them. Zhou Zhou thought for a moment and said. Since he chose to rank Linger with him, he had never thought of letting her lead him to winning. He told her to stand at the back and not cause trouble. She could just wait for him to lead the victory. Okay. Linger agreed immediately and began to deploy her troops. Zhou Zhou also began to deploy his troops seeing this. He left 5,864 military professionals in the territory to defend the city. Then, he summoned the remaining 15,000 military professionals as well as Bai Yun, Wu Xin, Nazario, Maris, and other high-end combatants. Then, these people began to set up defenses on the city wall. During this period, Zhou Zhou saw many blood bats fly out of the enemy's territory, circling above the blazing Sun City and Spiritual Medicine City. Zhou Zhou knew that the other party was using the blood bat form to investigate them. Humph. Get lost. He looked at these blood bats who were observing them fearlessly and suddenly snorted. The next second, the pressure from the vampire Viscount bloodline instantly erupted from his body and landed on the blood bats in the blink of an eye. Fear immediately appeared in their eyes when these blood bats felt the pressure from this bloodline. They wanted to escape. However, under the suppression of the higher-level vampire bloodline, they could not even escape. They directly exploded into large balls of blood mist in midair. At the same time, in the territory of Lord Anderson and Lord Turner. At this moment, the two vampire lords were using the low-level vampires they had created and using the blood bat form to observe the situation in the other party's human lord territory. At this moment, these low-level vampires suddenly revealed fear in their eyes. Right on the heels of that, their bodies instantly exploded into countless blood mists accompanied by a bang. This scene immediately stunned Lord Anderson and Lord Turner. Chapter 179 Rapid Promotion. White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade. What? What's going on? Did the other party use some curse spell? Lord Turner said stupidly. He was the Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Lord who brought Lord Anderson here. Their situation was similar to Zhou Zhou and Linger's. They both brought one more Lord with them, allowing the other party to advance more easily. However, these two vampires were in an employer-employee relationship. Lord Turner had spent a lot of money to hire Anderson, a Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade Lord, to help him advance. Can't you tell? This is caused by the level suppression between our vampire bloodlines. That human lord is not simple. There should be a vampire viscount like me. Anderson's expression was a little gloomy. He had thought that it would not be a problem to pass the Lord battlefield with a Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Lord but did not expect to encounter such a tough opponent. Then what should we do? Turner asked in a panic. Don't worry. Am I not still a vampire viscount just because he is? I'll use the pressure of my viscount bloodline to fight him so that he won't have time to deal with you when the battle starts later, and he uses his viscount bloodline to suppress our low-level vampires. At that time, use your blood bat form to fly past the city walls of these two human lords and enter their city. Come back and help me after you break through the other party's territory in the city. Anderson said. He also had the bloodline of a vampire viscount, so he was not afraid of Zhou Zhou's bloodline pressure. As for Turner, he was an ordinary vampire baron. Turner immediately nodded. A moment later. Not long after both sides deployed their forces, a text notification appeared. Deployment time has ended. The Lord War has begun. The next second, Zhou Zhou saw more than 20,000 blood bats flying out of the other party's territory. They were like blood clouds that covered the sky. It flew towards Blazing Sun City and Spiritual Medicine City with an astonishing aura and pressure. Zhou Zhou took a rough look. With the ability of the vampire Viscount bloodline, he realized that most of the 20,000 blood bats were formed by low-level vampires. Only a small number of them were transformed by the vampire baron after using the blood bat form. Seeing this, he was about to use the bloodline pressure of the vampire viscount to attack these blood bats. At this moment, he suddenly felt the same vampire viscount bloodline appear out of thin air and block the pressure of his bloodline. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. He likes to resist pressure. With a thought. At this moment, Nazario, who was resting with its eyes closed in the territory, suddenly opened its eyes. Roar! A dragon roar sounded. Accompanied by the extremely terrifying dragon Might, Anderson, who was releasing the pressure of the vampire viscount's bloodline, rolled his eyes and fainted. My lord! My lord, what's wrong? When the other vampire subordinates saw their lord faint, they immediately surrounded him in panic. All long-range soldiers, kill these blood bats with all your might. Maris. It's your turn. Bai Yun ordered. As soon as she finished speaking, more than 7,000 archers, crossbowmen, poison crossbowmen, and elemental archers drew their bows and shot at the blood bats. Maris' soul also emerged from its body. It held the god of death scythe and charged at the blood bats. It was already at green bronze tier advance grade. This meant that he could instantly kill all living beings below the white silver tier. Even if it was a white silver tier blood bat, it was very likely to kill it as long as it attacked a few more times. More than 95% of these 20,000 blood bats were below the white silver tier. Which meant, if Maris was given enough time, it could even deal with all 20,000 blood bats without being injured by itself. Moreover, while another soldier type might not be able to tell which of these blood bats hid the true souls of the vampires, Maris, as a divine kingdom-level soldier type, the Soul Reaper, it was naturally extremely sensitive to souls and could easily sense the location of the souls in these blood bats. Therefore, it began to kill these blood bats and was able to deliver accurate kills, which was extremely efficient. In less than a moment, under the joint battle of Maris and all the ranged soldiers, all the blood bats were killed. More than 8,000 sword-shield soldiers and other melee professions broke into the cities of the two vampire lords and killed the two vampire lords and the remaining vampires. A text notification appeared. You and your teammates have defeated the vampire lord, Anderson, green bronze tier elementary grade, and the vampire lord, Turner, black iron tier intermediate grade. You have won this ranking competition. You have obtained 6 battlefield points. Congratulations, you have advanced to green bronze tier intermediate grade in the Lord battlefield of all races. You need to participate in at least one ranking competition every 3 days. Otherwise, your rank will -1. Your battlefield shop has been updated. You can return to your territory. Zhou nodded slightly. While the opponents this time were much stronger than his previous opponents, they were not much stronger. On the other hand, Linger felt like she was dreaming. How can my big brother deal with such a strong vampire lord with such ease? Wasn't this win too easy? She had not forgotten the spectacular scene of more than 20,000 blood bats flying out. It looked so scary, yet they were killed by my brother like paper. Linger clicked her tongue. My big brother seems to be too ridiculously strong. At this moment. Do you still have ranking tries left? Zhou's voice sounded in her mind. Yes, there are 3 more times. My territory just took down the regional territory of my area last night. Linger hurriedly said. All right. Get your soldiers to rest for a while. Let's continue ranking later. Zhou said. A moment later. Zhou and Linger activated the ranking competition again. 2 hours later. After ending the last ranking and returning to the territory, Zhou opened the Lord battlefield and looked at the Lord rank displayed in the upper left corner. Title, Lord of the Blazing Sun, rank, white silver tier intermediate grade, number of rankings, 18, battlefield points, 89, as for Linger's Lord rank, it had also increased from black iron tier intermediate grade to green bronze tier advanced grade. Big brother. I don't have any more ranking tries. Linger was a little embarrassed. Then attack some more Scarlet Lord's territories or foreign race Lord's territories. Let's rank together again when you have more. Zhou said. Linger immediately agreed. With the blessing of the 10 gods, the blessing of the war god, she also had a higher passion for going out to fight. After Linger left, Zhou was not in a hurry to find someone else to rank. Instead, he opened the battlefield shop and checked the new goods. Chapter 180 Title Upgrade. Fashion Upgrade. Zhou Zhou looked at the white silver tier intermediate grade lord shop. 1. Cerulean Planet Human Race Building, Triumphal Arch Architecture Blueprint Fragment, 2/7, remaining purchases, 1, price, 50 battlefield points, 2, index of all races, book 2, remaining purchases, 1, price, 5 battlefield points, 3, index of all races, book 3, remaining purchases, 1, price, 25 battlefield points, 4. 100 designated white silver tier elementary grade military professionals, remaining purchases, 10, price, 25 battlefield points, 5 10 designated white silver tier basic lifestyle professionals, remaining purchases, 10, price, 25 battlefield points, 6, white silver tier resurrection token, exclusive to the Lord battlefield, remaining purchases, 10, price, 25 battlefield points, 7, white silver tier territory rebirth token, exclusive to the Lord battlefield, remaining purchases, 10, price, 25 battlefield points, 8, white silver tier +1, remaining purchases, 1, price, 500 battlefield points, 9, 1 green bronze tier master servant. Territory contract, remaining purchases, 1, price, 20 battlefield points, 10, gate of summoning reset card, remaining purchases, 10, price, 1 battlefield point. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. The goods in this white silver tier battlefield shop were already enough for him to take seriously. For example, the 100 white silver tier elementary grade military professionals. It made him quite envious. There were only 98 white silver tier military professionals left in his Blazing Sun army other than Bai Yun and the other high-end combatants, even though he had developed so much. And now, he only needed 25 battlefield points to exchange for a total of 100 powerful white silver tier combatants in the battlefield shop. How could he not be tempted? However, Zhou Zhou finally suppressed the urge to buy it immediately after looking at it for a while. Instead, he first bought the second building blueprint fragment of the Triumphal Arch and Book 2 and 3 of the Index of All Races. Purchasing these 3 items alone cost him 80 battlefield points, leaving him with only 9 battlefield points. My points are still not enough. Zhou Zhou looked at the green bronze tier master servant territory contract that was worth 20 battlefield points. In the end, he closed the battlefield shop interface because he was short of money. I still have to continue ranking or attacking other territories to obtain battlefield points. It's easier to obtain battlefield points through ranking now. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. In the Lord battlefield. Defeating a black iron tier lord would give him 1 battlefield point. Defeating a black iron tier lord would give him 1 battlefield point. Defeating a white silver tier lord would give him 25 battlefield points. This was only white silver tier. It could be expected that they would be able to obtain more battlefield points as long as they could win and the ranking opponent's ranking increased. This was much more convenient than bringing tens of thousands of soldiers around to search for enemies and conquer territories before obtaining territory tokens to exchange for battlefield points. But where can I find teammates? Zhou Zhou thought. Among the lords of the Cerulean planet. He had only chatted with the military industry lord once other than Linger's deeper relationship with him. However, they were not very familiar with each other. It felt a little strange to rashly go up and ask if they wanted to rank together. At this moment, a line of golden text suddenly appeared, as if it had heard him mutter to himself. Lord Battlefield hint, do you want to activate the recruitment ranking mode? Through randomly recruiting Lord teammates whose ranks are not more than 1 level higher within the same race or all races to form a party. I can do that. Zhou Zhou was stunned. Then, he thought for a moment and nodded slowly. That works too. This way, I won't have to spend time looking for suitable teammates. He did not immediately start the recruitment ranking. Instead, he checked his lord title and the fashion of the battlefield recruits. When Zhou Zhou advanced to the white silver tier elementary grade lord rank, both of them had also advanced to white silver tier. Among them, the Bronze Tier Lord title was upgraded to the White Silver Tier Lord title. Even though the name, Event Limited Fashion, Battlefield Recruit, had not changed. However, his stats had also increased. Title name, White Silver Tier Lord, Title Quality, White Silver Tier, Enhanceable, Title Effect 1, when fighting against the enemy forces of the Scarlet Fog, both you and your subjects will obtain an additional 10% increase in strength. Title Effect 2, when fighting the lords of all races, you and your subjects will receive an additional 10% increase in strength when the other party's Lord Battlefield rank is lower than your Lord Battlefield rank. Title Effect 3, same as before. Title Description, same as before, Fashion Outfit Name, Battlefield Recruit, Event Limited Fashion, Fashion Grade, White Silver Tier, Enhanceable, Fashion Feature 1. Reduces 20% of the damage sustained by White Silver Tier and below. Fashion Feature 2, Leave the battlefield, in the White Silver Tier Lord Battlefield ranking, when your side is at a disadvantage, if you have the White Silver Tier Territory Rebirth token, the Lord has the right to choose to admit defeat and automatically withdraw from the Lord Battlefield ranking. Fashion Feature 3, same as before, Fashion Feature 4, Comfort plus 5, Current Fashion Outfit Completeness, 5/5, Introduction, same as before. Zhou looked at their improvement in surprise. Especially the White Silver Tier Lord title effect increase by 1. After this title was upgraded to the White Silver Tier, not only did it retain and increase the original title effect, it could actually obtain an increase in strength when facing Lord of all races below its level. The title of Lord can actually affect reality. Zhou immediately realized the importance of this matter. With this factor, many lords would probably work hard to break through on the Lord battlefield in the future. As for the characteristics 1, 2, and 4 of the Battlefield Recruit's fashion, they had also been greatly improved. After that, Zhou put on the Battlefield Recruit clothes and activated the recruitment ranking mode within his own race. As for randomly recruiting Lord teammates from the people of foreign races, Zhou did not have that thought for the time being. Those who are not of our race will definitely have different intentions. He would not cooperate with the people of foreign races easily. Matching with your ranking opponent, match successful. Entering the battlefield. The next second. His vision darkened before he quickly regained his vision. Then, Zhou immediately observed his surroundings. He realized that he had appeared in an ancient, dilapidated, and incomparably vast arena. However, there was no one else in the arena other than lords like them. On the left and right sides of his city stood a city that was much smaller than Blazing Sun City. Under the powerful vision of the Chaos Human bloodline, he could see 2 human lords standing on the city wall and observing him and his surroundings. At this moment, a text notification appeared. You have entered the White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade Battlefield. You and your opponent have been randomly assigned to the White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade Battlefield, 100 City Arena. Your teammates are, 1, Cerulean Planet Human Lord, Heaven Summer Lord, White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade. 2, Cerulean Planet Human Lord, White Knight Lord, White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade. Your opponents are, 1, Ice Spirit Lord, Black Ice Lord, White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade. 2, Ice Spirit Lord, Snow Orchid Lord, White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade. 3, Ice Spirit Lord, Frost Startling Lord, White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade. Condition to defeat the enemy, kill all the enemy forces within 24 hours. If you exceed the time limit, both sides will be judged to have negative battle results. Ranking -1. You have 10 minutes to deploy your forces. Countdown, 9 minutes, 59 seconds. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.